Welcome back to the Unfortunate Son, session 26. Time for a plan. Last time we left off, not only a week ago in literal, but in game as well. We start off with the party gathering together and dealing with the re-sanctifying of the church by Kesnanok's hands as a light was pushed out around the church, creating almost a glimmering force field of sorts that would keep the party alive for the time being as Lithotara's influence would begin to fall over the town. As this would happen, Eider, who was standing at the edge of the bubble, the light bubble that Kez was creating, re-sanctifying the church, blessing the corpses within, and purging all of Lithotara's influence from the grounds of Ella Ugbo's sanctified church itself. Eider would manage to unravel a bit of the polymorph spell that he had found, figuring out that the staff that they had grabbed was not only a bone ooze, but also a bone ooze with a name, as that caught the attention of the party, uniquely being the last sight. However, as Eider was pulling apart this spell and kind of seeing this darkness fall over, and setting the staff down as a light would appear in the darkened streets in the shape of a 1 foot tall, actually probably shorter than that, mouse folk named Patter the First, who we did not expect to need a second. As he would find himself kind of glowing with the help of his god as a light in the darkness heading over towards the party and Eider specifically. Similarly, almost as as Patter would join the party inside the church to help with planning and prepping and getting ready to take on the tomb and the giants that had been seen around the town with Lithotara's marking heading for this church behind Patter. The party would then be visited by Chistiacus, a intellect devourer who would manage to almost break up with Eider, though with some quick thinking and some decent diplomacy, Eider would manage to convince Zebril as well as Chistiacus to stay with the party and to stay friends with Eider, not allowing for this powerful breakup to happen. As the party would return back into the church, the giants standing outside, some eldritch, some forest, some bog, even a few frost giants wearing these sigils, watching them from the wall or from the outer walls as they stare in. The party would find themselves knocked out almost immediately upon entering, as 5 gods would present themselves in front of them, or what they thought were 5 gods or godlike beings, each offering a hand, something of value, in exchange for the assistance and protection against Lithotara. Though the party would hear each of them out, in the end they would instead go with Azarius and Blestara specifically when deciding to make a deal. With Azarius, Eider would manage to come up with an agreement to offer the souls of the 9 alignment items should the party come across them, to purge them and to gain a great boon for not only himself but his party mates as well. And to Blestara, the party agreed to assist her in helping crumble the pillars of Lithotara's entire church and power rise, though being in agreement that they would not directly be the ones to attack or fight the pillars themselves, only assisting in the true heroes who would be questing on this mission. As the party would be informed that their first mission would be to take out the Hellfire Worm near Normax's territories, the party would find themselves brought back to the immortal plane, with Kez still trying his best to hold off Lithotara's influence on the church and trying to force its way into the grounds. As the party would continue to, or then bring the staff within the church, realizing that it would not be worth tearing it apart further, the party would turn and instead decide to dispose of this staff with the giants now gone. Kez still working to keep the church alight, and with Dom and Ned heading after Og to see if he can assist the party with the supposed horde of giants coming after them. Though, as the party would head into the city, it seemed almost strangely empty. Although Patter the First, most importantly, I do apologize, I did skip this part because I just got pinged about this. Before the party would head out, unfortunately, due to a wording by one of the party members, Patter would be turned and blessed with a new form, being given a longer lifespan for his service, though not to his own agreement, unfortunately, as Patter the First would turn into Captain Bison once more, not only the party but Eider's dismay, as Captain Bison would run off into the streets, vanishing into the mist. As then the party would head into the streets with the staff, Eider planning to dispose of it by tossing the staff into the river, with no other plans or ideas in mind. The rest of the party decided to go with this. Though the streets seemed empty and almost dark, still strangely darkened, they continued on their adventure until Eider would manage to run into an individual by the name of Jakix Morin. As Eider would be speaking with him, Dom and Ned would find themselves locked inside Ogg's mansion, stuck inside the library, forced to do nothing but watch, while the strange cats that had been symbolized in the amulets of natural armor that they had been given as sweaters with little cats on them seemed to appear and assist them. Dom and Ned found themselves sort of trapped and unable to do anything but watch as they found a book seeing Eider dealing with Jakix. Though with some quick thinking and the help from the cats, the two would, after the DM said it 7 times, figure out that there wasn't a window there and were able to jump through it, even though their cats kept jumping through back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I'm only specifying because that was a big note at the end there. As Eider would continue to fight Jakix by himself, deciding not to really hear out what Jakix Morin had to say, Eider launching a quick 100 points of damage from his spellfire into Jakix, blowing a hole into the man's spine almost immediately, who he seemed to shake off without a care. Eider not giving 2 shits anymore, in all honesty, about anything, pulled the dagger of Grandpa, and with the help, after a little bit of failing, from Zebril, would manage to not only strike Jakix, but send him down below to the depths, though at the cost of a finger, or one of his fingers. As he would sheathe the dagger, watching as Jakix would be pulled into the Abaddon, hearing his last eerie words. The spell around the town seemed to vanish and dissipate as the party rejoined back together. The cats taking the staff and disappearing around a corner with it, never to be seen again. We ended session shortly after that with the party heading back to the church to meet with Kez, who had just wrapped his sanctifying ritual. God, I don't know why I had a brain fart at the end there. A ritual at the end, and as the party would decide at that point that a week's worth of time to research, learn, and figure out what the hell is going on was definitely needed. The party would split for the week, with some going to do research on the tomb, others doing research on their own items, and then some gathering a flock to follow them into the depths of hell, hopefully. We return back after a week of downtime with Domnander, Keznanok, Eider, and Ned, who Ned unfortunately is not with us today. Ned, who seems to be very focused on his plant, but seems to kind of just be listening in to you as we join back, you lot all in the church, relaxing after a early morning sermon from Keznanok, his flock now gone off to their daily duties amongst the town, some with jobs, some without. The church having gained about 6 coppers in the last week for donations, which, hey, that's something. You all find yourselves enjoying a little bit of breakfast as a table has been kind of set out down below in the cellar. Some beans and some bread set out for each of you, as well as a thick dark brew of or of what you realize now, or what you've come to know as coffee, which is very seemingly popular amongst the Heli in King's End, as they seem to bring this stuff in by the boatload. As you kind of sit around the table, though, having spent your week, what would you all like to do?
Alright, so now that the situation here is somewhat cleaned up, we still got a tomb to go to, don't we?
Right up.
Is rather important.
I am now confident with my following here that if I leave them be, I don't think they're going to fizzle out into nothing.
I've mostly gotten used to having 9 fingers now.
As you
It's
look
too early
over
in the morning for those jokes, Ader.
As you look over, Kez, and you see the pointer finger on Eider's. I assume your Eider is right-handed.
Yeah.
On his right hand is missing down to the first knuckle.
So, did you have to get like? Actually, I have a question. Did Eider wear gloves, or was he always like free-handing it? Because I just want to imagine like a flapping like finger.
Eider's gauntlet did not actually break. His finger did come off, but the item did not technically break.
Well, I don't know if like the gauntlets have like individual like finger parts, or if it's like a plate that covers it.
I just
no, it could be finger parts because otherwise it wouldn't be articulated enough to do things with.
Yeah,
like that's how like the standard D&D kind of comes up.
So there's like a little like hole where that finger normally would be that kind of like sticks out.
Metal aren't there anymore. It's just funny to me.
Oh, I'm glad my fuck this guy, kid.
It's just
now we're going on an adventure.
Hey, listen, you gotta make light of some things out there. I mean, hey, I feel like in the past couple days, well, actually no, in like the past month, we've all had a couple of mind jostling things, and I think it's definitely better if we were to laugh at it than wallow in complete horror of the events that have taken place.
Yeah, I'm ready to go to the tomb if y'all are.
Yeah, I'm ready to. All right, guys. We're gonna head out. Maybe fight some bad guys.
He shouts up out of the cellar to an empty church.
Ah, damn. Well, I guess I should wait until at least one of the heli arrive for prayer, so I can let them know what we're gonna go do. I don't want to just abandon the folk here without letting them know where I'm going.
What was that, Dominander?
Oh, Dom, who's just been like watching all this interaction on the sidelines, just kind of pipes up like, "That would be wise," like in agreement with Kez, and like not just abandoning the church to a bunch of people he's just now been working with without warning.
As you kind of continue to enjoy your breakfast, Eider kind of a little impatient, I imagine, to get a move on here. About an hour goes by before one of the younger members of the flock arrives once more, kind of showing up. A young Aasimar with long, flowing golden hair, a thick, blondish beard that seems to kind of almost hang about halfway down the young boy's chest. He seems to wear what looks to be just normal, like leather commoner's attire as he kind of walks in. You don't recognize the individual's name, but you do recognize this boy as one of the stable hands of Ogg's personal stables. As he kind of walks in and comes walking in, smiles up at you, seeing you. His eyes kind of glittering a light as they do. He kind of looks over at you and at Kesnok and goes, I apologize to bother you, priest, in the cellar here while you're cheating with your companions, but if I may, I'm here as I was called for. You mentioned something was told of me that I would be needed today. He kind of looks up at you like expectingly.
You're from the stables, yes?
Yes, I also serve amongst your flock. My father serves as one of your hands, yes.
Well, we don't have our ship back, don't we, huh?
As far as I know, the ship's still in the dock, so...
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Barges has gone anywhere, so my understanding is we still have the ship.
Yeah, you all haven't seen Barges in town as of yet, which has been a little bit unique, given it's not a large town. It's not a small town by any means either.
It's not
hiding
like we
on the
can't
ship.
leave without barters, to be fair. I know how to fly the fucking thing.
All right. Well, me and my compatriots are about to go on and go after a nefarious individual in a nearby tomb. 3 days away, am I correct? I look to Eider.
It was a week by foot. I don't remember how far it is.
Well, I know by airship it was, I think, 3 days, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Dom kind of quickly opens their notebook and kind of starts flipping through it.
I'm trying. I don't even remember what session that would have been in. I'll be
Many.
honest.
A couple days. Anyway, we'll be there.
Boy nods at that and kind of looks over.
So, just before taking off, I wanted to let the flock here know that I might be gone for some amount of days, but I will return. Shouldn't take us too long.
Oh, you don't know how to write. Oh, okay. Give me one moment. I'll write this out for you. And he starts looking around for like ink and quill. Okay, so he pulls out some papyrus off the shelf where the books were that you had. Most of them had to be burned, Kaz, throughout the week as you were going through them. As he kind of walks over some paper and some ink and starts writing down.
Young man, I do know how to write. I just prefer personal interaction than leaving a note that can be fiddled with.
He kind of tilts his head at you and goes, "Priest, I don't understand. You have to forgive me. Maybe it's my young mentality, but you've protected these grounds. So long as you don't fall, these grounds should be unbothered by any who seek to do harm upon its followers. Should it not?"
The world's a strange place. Someone could have a warped imagination of what they're doing is actually to help.
Oh, I did hear about a pirate crew like that once. He nods.
Many such a case.
He goes, I mean, I would recommend nailing something to your front door. I'll let the rest know that I have, of what you've told me, though, for the time being, if that will put you at ease, priest.
It would. What else? I mean, if Barges has left without our ship, we might need some form of transportation. So if our vessel isn't in dock, then we'll all sure to pop by the stables.
He kind of nods to you and goes, well, the stables I work under are personally to Og himself. We don't rent out common horses. These are beasts of burden that serve the Brightwing household. You'd be looking for something in town. I would recommend either the blacksmithies or the inn itself, Vespara's Snoking's Inn.
Well, thank you for the information, young man. Blessings of the Mother be upon you.
He smiles, like he seems to almost glow at that as his smile kind of comes on his face and nods and goes, "And you too, priest." And kind of turns and starts scuttling up the stairs and back. You hear as the doors to the church above close as he runs off.
All right, there's got to be some ink and quill around here somewhere.
As you look at the ink and quill and paper set on the table where the boy just dropped it as he was getting ready to originally write.
Man, that's crazy. Look at that. I found it, guys.
God. Sorry.
How convenient.
Looks around the room at the thing right in front of him on the table. Man, where could it be?
Sorry, guys. I'm not awake till I've had my 8th cup of coffee.
That's.
You know we're not
These-
really going to be
a little
able to
bit
prove that on the
concerning.
ship.
Hey, listen. These mugs are the size for kobolds. Listen, guys. It's rough for a fire giant out here.
I will say, Einar, while they're like good sized for your hands, Kez and Dom, especially Dom, like one finger can fit into the mug that you've got, and you're kind of like getting to sip
You're
out of it.
like getting European like espresso size, like
You know.
the most delicate grip of a tiny little cup.
Listen, please. Like, if it was like giant size cups for sure, maybe 1 or 2, but these bad boys gonna need couple more cups.
As Kez kind of holds his up, it says number 2 priest.
Wow! That shit's so fucked. Alright.
Kez, as you realize, this isn't your mug. This is just a mug that you have in the that you found in the
I
church.
Taken.
I wonder where the number 1 mug is.
you haven't found it yet, Ollie.
Yeah, same.
Is that
the
8 or
mug
something
was
like
worth it.
that?
That's what's
It's a holy
in the
artifact somewhere.
Yeah.
It's the fucking
It's
average
because
that
there
right
is no
there.
number 1 priest, because there's always room for improvement.
Right. Alright.
So, gonna write a message. Actually, what is the main language of this territory?
So most Aasimar speak a mix of Draconic, Giant, and Common. Most often because of the fact that they're the 3 most commonly spoke languages amongst the priestly and religious languages or books.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dragon is the most common again, especially amongst Og's people, though, given the fact, or Draconic rather, due to the huge influx of Heli who were slaves formerly.
Gotcha. Does anyone here know Draconic? I want to just make sure
I
it's in
do.
a couple
Yes.
languages.
Give it over.
I do.
All right. I mean, yeah.
As
Raise
Azura
your
starts to monologue what he
it-
wants written.
Yeah, no, because I intend on this
Dom
note to have
does
both
have-
Giant, Common, and the Draconic writings
I
on
don't
it.
know if it's been stated out in like RP. Dom does have the calligraphy skill, meaning he writes really good. Like he's got a very fancy and like professional. script,
You've got
so-
a legible handwriting, yes, Dom.
I just like
Please.
truncated saying like Dom like doing like finger exercises, about to write the most like needlessly fucking fancy thing.
SpongeBob.
Because it's like sitting there like about to prepare like a 3,000 word speech, and I go, "Be back soon, out to
Dawn-
adventure."
Yeah, just
Dawn fishing.
as like exercises he does as a monk, and then he just sits down to write, and it's just the most calm, careful, like this huge, the tallest in the party, just sitting down with a tiny,
Alright.
medium humanoid
Give me
quill.
a Dom. Give me a roll for calligraphy. Let's see if you can how well you end up writing. As Eider kind of like scribbles a really quick TLDR.
Oh,
it says,
no.
"Gone
The fact that you
adventuring.
made
Be
it
back
roll.
soon."
I just like slap it on the door. I go, "All right."
Okay.
Here,
Give
it's
me
a
a
comment.
second.
If you
It's
can't
very
read this,
important
it's
what
not
I
my
choose
problem.
for this.
Oh no, I fucking listed it in Draconic. I've got Draconic. I know like 6 languages or some crazy shit.
Hey,
Damn,
buddy,
I
let
forgot.
me do something.
Alright, let's see what you got, Dom.
Hey, buddy, let me do this for you. You're the leader. You work
Eider just
hard.
kinda
I can handle the
stands
little
up.
business.
Walks away from heads up out of the cellar, not saying a thing. As Dom starts to
That
prepare writing.
is, I need to find the calligraphy skill on my sheet. A 17.
Azura or Keznok, what do you want written?
What do you want written, buddy?
All right.
He's halfway across the church.
All right. All right. I'm
He's
back.
chasing.
Yeah,
you.
Yes.
Dom. I was letting Dom do their warm-up scribbles as one does.
Mhm.
Yeah, my practice scribbles. Mhm.
Members of the Church of Ella Ugbo, me and my compatriots are going to be going on a adventure that may last around a week or more to go to a tomb in the areas around this town, so that way we may clear out some evil forces that plague my party and these lands. While I am gone, you may still use the facilities to conduct prayer, but there is no requirement for tithe while I am departed at this time. May the blessings of the Mother be with you.
As Dom's writing and you like mentioned the tomb part, you see like he's still processing the information, but his pen quill kind of pauses, and he's like, "Are you sure you trust your new flock enough to inform them of where we're going? It's not like our enemies have left town. All
Let
right,
them come.
let it be known I mentioned something if things go wrong," and then just like keeps writing.
We did make a deal with gods for the enemies to like not come find us.
Well,
you need
the
more.
thing with the tomb is it's not in the town, which was part of the agreement.
Yes, but telling them where we're at, it'll be fine. I'm sure
Let
it'll
them
be
come.
fine.
As kind of starts hanging up the sign. This as a sign as on the door. As Ida says this, you see an
Oh,
elder
that's the,
or this
like, lean
giant
down.
purple giant with full blackened battle armor, a massive battle axe,
Oh, no.
a huge sigil of Lithotara blazoned on his chest plate, just standing on the outside of the walls, like just watching.
Yeah, exactly. Just clearly can see the location, the note. Can I just say that Dom leans down to like put the note at like medium to short humanoid height, so the giants have a hard time reading.
Yeah.
It's not eye level.
Yeah, as you hang it down
Just
lower.
kinda- And then can I lock eyes with this guy and just stare him down and see what he does? Just like making eye contact as I slap it on the door.
Give me
Roll
an
intimidate.
intimidation check.
Yeah. I'm just like, yeah, I know you're there. I know you know where I'm at. Come on then. Just not saying anything though, just the most silent. Let me find what my intimidation bonus is. I remember it was decent. Oh, fuck. My dice.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why must you? It's not combat yet. You don't have permission to fuck me over. Hang on, Nate.
An 8? Okay,
Sorry,
give me
guys.
1 sec.
I didn't roll great.
As he looks at you for a moment, he just kind of like stares at you and just doesn't seem to move. Kind of crosses his arms across his chest and like over themselves and just kind of stands there staring in a huff.
I'm just gonna keep making eye contact with this guy till he leaves, or until someone else in the party does something. This is my turf.
Your turf.
I say my as in like a Dom defensive group turf. Yeah, you're part of my party.
As
is part of our
Kesnanog just
turf.
looks up at you and that mention of your turf
I
and looks at
didn't
the
say
chair.
anything out loud.
This singular eyebrow raise.
Dom
swear to
has not said anything out loud.
I just start walking to the direction of the fucking like airship. Like, come on. Staring at
Okay,
the
I will follow. As I go up to Eider, Dom kind of taking his attention off of the guy, but you know, like still keeping an eye out for ambushes. Goes, you know, Eider. Once we've dealt with the tomb and cataclysm and some of that stuff, or whatever needs to be done, it would not be hard for me to talk to Utham about getting a graft for your finger, or really, honestly, could probably just redo the whole hand.
What if
he's
he
got
got his
some
finger
good
replaced
options.
with a tongue?
As Kez
That's
leans into
not-
the conversation.
That's not. I mean, Utham could do that. Utham's incredibly skilled. I don't see what the benefit would be.
I mean, think about it. Like, how mobile it could be. Like a snake's tongue? Maybe you get a taste with your finger. I'm sorry, I'm only on my 4th cup of coffee.
I just gotta like put like finger gun to like Dom with the one finger and say, "Like your idea." Point to Kez. Hate that idea. With a pat.
Yeah, I don't remember what exactly he has for hand-related grafts, but I know he has options that would probably suit your craft. I mean, he did wonders on my arm, and it's worked well. It hasn't worked great, but that has nothing to do with Utham's work. That has to do everything with the type of enemies I've been punching.
DM, I just had a DACA thought, and I would like to share it.
Oh no.
What if you were to put bones on your finger so that if you touch somebody with it, it'd be a death touch?
In the distance, a short and kind of thin-looking orc. Look to you, Eider looks like almost like a starving troll. Like he looks like he hasn't eaten a good meal in a year. Being followed by a shorter, like wizard-like figure who's very heavily cloaked and just looks like a somewhat Goliath in the features and just disappointed. As they're following and writing things down, as you hear the distant or the passerby kind of chime in and continue walking.
This is a silly place. I choose to leave now.
Goodbye now.
As you kind of continue towards through the town, people kind of going about. You do notice as you're walking through, you three are being followed, and it's not like the person's hiding it. It's the large, 25-foot tall purple giant in the blackened armor just continues to keep about a 30-foot pace behind you, just slowly walking, not threateningly, just walking.
So how much you guys want to
Everything's
bet that
slightly
as soon as
down.
we leave the city grounds that we're going to be absolutely, yeah.
That's why it would be very good to have an airship, so we are not ambushed on the ground. But we should prepare for the likely scenario of us on some animal back being chased down by like 20 of these guys. Because if I still understand correctly, in the week we've been here, this is slightly an out of character comment question to the DM.
Yeah.
They still have a majority of their guys just outside of the city fucking waiting for us.
From what you've seen, there's been a few of them spotted amongst the town, and there seems to be a large camp outside of the town that's not hiding its appearance. As the fires from the camp can be clearly seen, even in the lighter wintry nights. Being it's April, you're getting more thicker like sleet and like cold rain, and you can still see the fires going and roaring. The smoke coming up looks like it's almost a small town on the outskirts.
Well, two options. We could ask Og for a minor escort directly out of town to make that not an issue, or the airship's there and we don't have to worry about it. But we'll worry about that after the airship's not here.
What do we know about Eldritch Giants?
They're about as strong as Utham is.
Oh yeah, but how fast?
Kez looks back at that as Eider says that. You see the guy flexes slightly and kisses his bicep as he looks at you and gives you a wink, Kez.
Yeah, but how quick is
They are not as humble as Utham.
Huh.
Alright, to the airship.
Yeah, I'm just here's hoping we can get out of. I wonder if the protection, how far vertical the protection of the gods go.
As Kaz looks up at the raining sky and it hits with a couple of cold slaps of
It just-
rain.
Goes to Minecraft build limit.
No! It's either first off, he's our builder here. Secondly,
1 second, let me pull out my infinite dirt pouch.
yeah, let's test this. All right, I'll let you know when I get punched off. Really, as you continue through town.
Raleigh at the top.
There's a fucking oh god. As you kind of continue through town, though, the Asmar for the most part seem to kind of don't really seem to mind you much. There's a few giants you notice, a good amount of frost giants that are kind of walking amongst the town now. A large population of what looks to be a mix of kobolds, proper koboldkin, and drakekin seem to have kind of expanded amongst the town as it seems. Being a little bit more lively, merchants have kind of set up, it looks like, in the actual streets as you walk through. The streets becoming a bit heavier in mud as people are walking and horses are kind of running through, carriages passing by. About this point, as you're making it to one of the main cross points of the city, about another hour before you'll be at where the ship was docked at, you realize you had a wagon that you could have brought into town at any time, or brought to the church and used for all this.
I thought the wagon was still in the
With our
ship.
wolf friend.
It is the lucky wagon. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the lucky wagon.
Yeah, that's still in the ship. Yep, along with the goslings and Hootie.
I was saying, I know we didn't take it off the ship, which means that the ship's gone. It's gone with it.
It's a lucky ship. Yeah. Oh yeah. As you kind of continue through, heading through the town, passing by the point where you see the markings on the ground of what looks to be a small darkened singe in the mud, where Eider, you recognize where your dagger had managed to kind of go off the spell grasping hold and pulling Jakix down beneath the depths into Abaddon.
So this is where it happened, huh?
Yeah. I kind of rub my finger like Phantom Pain shooting up and
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think's going on down there?
whatever it is non-consensual.
Grandpa is currently being entertained by a tale from Jakix's pastime. It's very English, is all I can tell you.
Very English. Honestly, hey, I was more so hoping for like a Brothers Grimm type tale.
Go ahead.
Gonna be very Greek by the end of it.
Yeah.
Oh no. While the party's walking and Dom's kind of like thinking to himself, can I make a roll to see, based off like the wording of the deal and the agreement we made with Blastara, where she said like we'd be protected, like they wouldn't attack us while we were in town. Can Dom roll some kind of check, religion, intelligence, whatever, to determine if we swung on this guy in town, would he be able to retaliate? Would that nullify the deal, or would he be like stuck passive and unable to do anything because we'd be within the confines of the town, therefore they couldn't attack us?
Okay. I'll take this either 2 points. You can sense motive based on what you think she implied, or you can try decipher skit based on your memory of what the contract stated.
Okay, I think because I'm looking for like loophole clause stuff, I'll do sense motive because her direct wording only applied we wouldn't get attacked. I don't think she directly ever commented on if we swung on them first. That will be a 21.
21. It did not seem to imply what would happen if you attacked someone else. There didn't seem to be any statement one way or the other. For all you know, it could be from what you could tell the discussion that your protection only counts as long as you're not the aggressor. Given Blastara's personal abilities and her interest against Lithotara, it would probably be quite a feat to be able to allow another follower of a separate god to just stand there and be beaten. Especially when you are of equal power as that said god. So to put an influence on another follower like that would take either higher power typically or a much more cunning individual than what you'd imagine that Blastara was, given her motherly appearance. So in TLDR, you're pretty sure that if you hit this guy, he's going to be allowed to hit back.
Yeah. I think that's what Dom's belief is, and I think like while the party's walking and Dom's like, doing his little mind palace, like, okay, what's the best route out of here? We're gonna be outnumbered. It's just like not trying to be subtle because the guy's clearly following us and knows where we're going. We'll just like look behind, like size him up, and think real hard, and it's just like, no. Well, no. Maybe if I had been with Zarius, but Blastara, no. Sure. Just mumbling to himself a bit.
As you continue mumbling to yourself as the party kind of heads through town, the individual follows you, but as you kind of drag yourselves through, the rain seems to pick up, the winds seem to get chillier, the weather seems to kind of start to turn a bit as you start to get hit with a bit of ice and hail as it seems to start to smack down on you. Similarly, it looks like as the giant behind you isn't wearing what looks to be very much of any thick wintry clothing, he seems to, about after a half an hour or more of walking, vanish into one of the taverns where you see a raging fire and singing kind of going on inside, leaving you lot to continue your mission towards the docks by yourselves, in a sense, as you continue through. Many of the villagers starting to become thinner and less often spotted as you kind of head closer and closer to the docks, where a few other airships look to have been set up and parked on the side. One of them you recognize as having the Iron Heart symbolism on the side of it. It looks to read the Sea's Heart. And as you kind of see a few crew members kind of running about and jumping off as they're unloading exotic animals and such as in cages, she kind of you notice the crew's captain, who clearly wears a very big, large, poofy hat with what looks to be almost a flaming feather in it. Her very bluish skin, clearly showing signs of being a genasi, kind of looks down towards you lot as you're walking towards the docks and seems to kind of We have a slight a nod and a wave, and then seems to go back about ordering her men as you get closer to to the ship. As you pull up next to your own ship, you see it still sitting there, the ladder kind of hanging down, Bargis sitting at the very bottom in a chair, or a wooden chair, a little desk sat out, a little sign that says, "We'll tell your fortune for a gold piece." And his little book in his hands as he's kind of reading, kind of flipping through it as he licks his thumb every once in a while and flips the pages, looking over at you lot as you walk up. The hail kind of bouncing off his head, his unhelmeted head, as it just kind of lands into the ground and just completely unbothered.
Kind of like get gripped by like a weird idea. Like pull out the key and kind of look at Bargis through the bow and see if like anything weird happens.
Sorry, what?
The key. I look at Bargis through the bow of the key to see if anything weird happens.
Yeah, as you do, Eider, kind of looking at him for a moment, it looks as if you see for a moment a chain kind of showing and then cracking. Then suddenly what looks to be a large bluish orb seemingly kind of begins to split in half. And as it starts to kind of appear to show individuals that you've never seen before screaming, panicking, running for their lives as what looks to be lava spews up from the ground and the world cracks and falls apart in front of you.
What a peaceful day it is today.
This kid stares up at the hail. Wearing his heavy winter clothing.
I'm just gonna like frown and like approach Bargis and say, "You're a walking calamity, aren't you?"
Kind of looks at you and tilts his head as he looks up from his book, clamping it shut, and goes, "You know, potentially."
Oh, looks like it's probably not to do with us, at least.
And kind of smiles at that and goes, "Well, I'm guessing since you're here today, it is," as he kind of licks his thumb and like puts it up in the air. He goes, "The 19th of the planting, so that means we're going to the dungeons. You're looking for the tomb, right?"
Right
Yeah.
on the money.
Alright, we should be there in 3 days. Climb aboard. If we're any later, we'll all die.
That's unfortunate.
It is.
Maybe.
And always it seems to be a dire situation. You know, when I was a young adventurer, it was the same thing. I should tell you about the time I picked up a Holy Avenger. As he
You
kind
may
of
need
climbs.
to-
That's so funny. That's actually so funny. This is me as Hunter saying that.
Inner monologue. In the back, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I remember that." As he kind of starts climbing up the ladder, pulling up the table and chair with one hand, and then kind of climbing up with the other as he pulls himself up, and opening up the latch and going down below as he shoves a few times to get the desk in and finally gets it in, disappearing beneath or below as he waits for you lot to kind of climb up and head in.
We may need to make a bit of a false trail. I think we might get followed to the tomb. We might potentially be able to forestall that.
How are we going to do that?
Head in a direction we don't mean to go, and then actually go in the direction we mean to go.
All right. So, I mean, I guess the skies are pretty cloudy today. So unless they've got some like type of divination or tracking on us, then we should be good to go.
Could have also left a note implying we were going somewhere else, but if we double back now, that might be suspicious.
I think there's always a way to find out in this world.
As Kev just kind of chews on some nuts that none of you saw where he got them
He's
from.
eating coffee beans raw to get the
Yeah,
caffeine
I know.
kicking quicker.
The beans just isn't enough, guys. I just need it straight from the source.
Just need the beans.
Oh, well, what's done is done. Okay, let's get in. You're just gonna like walk up the thing.
Let's rock and roll!
You all kind of climb aboard one after another. Ned kind of following after. Hootie ecstatic as Ned gets on and kind of like climbing onto him, hiding from the goslings who are suddenly running up the stairs and seem to kind of surround Ned as they start to drag him down below. Hootie looks in a panic and seems to kind of flutter off to the front of the ship once more as Ned is dragged by the goslings down to the nest. But as you all kind of come aboard, you look in the ship and it looks the same. The same submarine design. The wood looks the same. The metal pipes are the same. The instruments are all in different places. The copper and bronze piping are now bluish in coloration and have small little red rocks glowing in them. The wood inside is slightly whiter instead of red now. And Eider, as you notice, the controls have completely been redone as you look over, and there's only four controls now and a steering wheel.
Feels like it's much simpler.
Did he just simplify it instead of it being just a...
As you look about, give me a knowledge engineering if you have it.
Yep, 1 second.
Plot twist, it's actually far more complicated than we could ever imagine.
Oh, no.
Definitely is.
Lagging.
It's the illusion of
that.
simplicity.
18. Well, as you look at it, you realize the bronze pipes that were there and the copper that was there designed to seemingly kind of allow the magic from outside to be pulled in have been replaced now with what you recognize as lyrium plating, as you've messed with it before. Though this red stuff, you're not familiar with what it is. These little red crystals, they seem to give a similar sparkle to the lyrium itself, but almost with a crimson glimmer. You can see the flow of like magic and like a light source almost flowing through the pipe. It was you kind of stare at it long enough to see through, kind of looking through the lyrium with almost enough clarity. As you look over at the controls, the 4 levers now look to be fully just up, down, left, right, and drop. As well as the steering wheel looks to be fully a lot more able to be moved around and able to actually be pulled back and seems to directly steer the ship. It looks like more of this is now designed as a fail-safe method in case either the steering goes out or the control levers break down. As you're kind of looking at this, you're sure it's been made more efficient, and as you kind of look about this means that whatever this item or what has been done to the wood, as you don't recognize any of this wood, but from anything you've seen before, it looks like this has been given a massive magical power upgrade of some sort. Given the blue lyrium piping, that's very little, at least you are able to tell.
Yep. And my hope of ever touching this ship again has vanished.
I imagine just looks a little more saddened by that.
I was more just like, oh, I'm never fucking with like any part of like the underside of the ship again.
Bart just kind of looks at you as he kind of swivels in the like leather-bound chair and turns to you lot as he smiles. What looks like petting Hootie now, who's sitting in his lap, and goes, "So, you're gonna want to go somewhere else and then go circle around. Oh, and don't mind the upgrades. I did a little dabbling and working. I figured I'd see what I could do with the materials on hand."
It is interesting. What the hell is all that red nonsense, though? Blue I recognize as lyrium.
Oh, he kind of takes a second. You see him kind of stroke his chin and his beard and goes, "Are you familiar with what a red-eyed beast is?" Give
Depends.
me a knowledge, either a knowledge, nature, or survival check. I don't think you guys have been told this, just for reference.
Knowledge nature is 19.
19. For your own knowledge, those who are known as red-eyed monsters are from a place called the Dark Continent. Recently, rumoredly discovered continent that is known to have monsters able to shoot magic, capable of wiping out entire nations out of the beams out of their eyes. They seem to be attracted to lyrium from what the few sightings of these creatures on the shores of the continent have been, and they seem to eat the rocks raw, which, from your own experience, you can probably gather how horrifying that might be.
Yeah. Vaguely, the scary place that tell children about. More of a myth, right?
Kind of smiles at that and goes, "Oh no, not at all. It's very real. In fact, I actually had a chance to stop by there in my adventures. While you all were dealing with the whole situation with Lithotara and all of the giants that seemed to want to kill you. I think that happened. How's that?
That happened.
Did you get the church?
Yeah, I got the church.
Did you find the diamond?
The blasting diamond?
No. That was to be expected. No, the other diamond.
No.
Okay, good. That means that we are on the right schedule. Oh, fantastic. I thought we were going to have to go fight Grandpa today. Jesus, that was an interesting day.
What?
I do believe we would fold something that folds well.
You would, at least, yes. I wouldn't be caught dead in that situation, I promise you. Not again. I've done that too many times in my lifetime.
Again?
Oh, it's... Keznok, time is a finicky thing. I don't have the time to explain everything as he starts to turn the wheel, and you start to hear the engine down below starting to rumble, the entire ship kind of coming to life with a roar. He goes, I don't have enough time to explain all this, but in simplicity, there's places where your god rules as if a genocidal maniac, and then there are places where she's been completely wiped out. That can all be changed at the fate of a drop of a fly that was not supposed to die at that time. Kind of scary, truly, if you think about it.
Interesting.
That's why I don't. I can't do anything about it, so it's irrelevant.
I mean, to be honest, that actually sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, rumbles the ship up into the sky, the air slowly as it starts to get rise up and goes. So, do you want me to create a distraction, or would you just like something that's going to cause them to be confused?
Imagine the confusion part. They don't seem.
Right.
I kind of look at my my compatriots, and I just kind of whisper to them. I was like, giants aren't necessarily the most perceptive people I've ever met. I don't know if they would really. Seems like it would work pretty well.
Looking right at Ader.
Yeah, as Eider talks to two giants. One of which, both of which are wisdom focused, and they're
the only
high spot in listen checks.
Look, you, Ned, and Kez are the only ones besides the rest of them that I've met so far.
Bro, just really hit us with, you're one of the good ones.
Bar just kind of slightly turns the chair back and looks over at Eider and goes, oh, no, I get it. I can't tell half of them apart either. They all got the same skin color most of the time. Big, dumb, and
back
ugly.
away.
Me and Kez are fire giants amongst frost giants, so it actually wouldn't apply to us. I mean, I would agree that most commoners of any race are not as usually highly perceptive of soldiers and mercenaries and travelers. However, these eldritch giants and bog giants and forest giants, I'm not aware of their strengths. They could be better trained at scouting than frost giants are.
Bard just kind of puts up a finger as he turns fully in the chair and goes, wait, you're being hunted by eldritch giants. You mean the ones that
And
are...
bog and frost giants.
Bog frost and frost giants are one thing, but eldritch giants are almost on an equal level to a world leader's capabilities on their own. These creatures sell their souls to powerful demons for immense power. Just to make that clear, you do understand you're dealing with creatures that could fight your Regan one-on-one. And might win.
I think you'd win.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but I want to... He looks over at Eider for help for a moment as he, wide-eyed, trying to explain this.
We are wildly out of our depth.
You know, strangely enough, not the strongest thing that have come across our path.
Looks at Eider's dagger from Grandpa.
I'm not trying that trick again.
Was Dom ever told about when Keznanok went into the arena with those two giant beasts, or was I not told that part of the story out of in character?
No, I don't want to embarrass myself.
You haven't been told that yet. No, none of them mentioned that.
So Dom's not aware.
Hey,
thankfully.
listen, what happens in Abaddon stays in Abaddon.
Or just kind of just shrugs and goes, well,
onion.
If you're seeing Eldritch Giants here, that means that should happen, which means that King Regan Utham shouldn't be bothered, which means that okay. And we should be fine. We should be meeting an old compatriot of yours at the tomb then, if everything's going well. Domnander, I would ask you a favor. If you'll close your eyes and cover your ears for a moment, it would be rude of me to allow you to see what I'm going to do to distract these creatures. Please, I don't wish to offend you.
Wasn't the last time that Dom was told to like cover his ears and close his eyes, Bardris pulled that stunt like way back when that like blocked us off back when we had our hat rack buddy. I vividly remembered we got covered in like an ink orb.
It's up to you if you just choose not to cover. It's up to you if you don't want to listen.
Don looked at Bardris and kind of narrows his eyes and is like, the last time you told me to do that, I was blinded. Can I ask what you're going to do this time? And why me specifically?
Wait, closing your eyes. The point is that you're blinded. What are you on about?
No, he was like blinded for a while.
Bardris just kind of shrugs. He goes, hey, if you want to watch, look out the window. As he kind of, you watch as he moves, kind of pushes one of the levers forward, and are you gonna look dumb, or are you gonna stay back behind the?
Can I sense motive? Because he called me out specifically, right? That seems targeted. I don't know if this is one of his timeline fuckeries, or if this is like a so he's gonna do something with his or Utham's visage that's personally offensive.
He's gonna drop nude photos of Utham everywhere.
Nude photos of Utham? Could you imagine? That will be... I have so many tabs open. That will be a 15.
Many a giant's wet dream.
And just to be clear, you're trying to tell what from the sense motive exactly?
Is this like a genuine thing that like a genuine warning in which Dom would be endangering himself if he didn't comply, or does he get the vibe that Bardris, knowing Dom's like caution, is fucking with him?
Given Bardris previously has given out information that has completely changed your group's mentality and adventuring decisions from your own experience and from what you've seen, it's not likely he's being light when he says this, but it also could be a full gag, as you can't really get a read on the individual. He's not smiling, but at the same time, this could be a dry sense of humor. It's too hard to tell.
I think Dom, with all they've gone through recently, isn't willing to take the risk for a prank, and so kind of just looks at the others silently, like clearly not happy, and just I don't know that I'll close my eyes and ears per se, because covering them seems excessive, but I'll turn my back to the window and like not pay attention to what's happening. I'll watch the other's face though to see their reactions.
Okay. And Kaz and Ida, are you gonna like specifically walk up to look?
I run to the window like a little kid, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with full hands, full nose.
I'm certainly gonna watch.
All right.
I'm not gonna move from where I am.
As the two of you look on, you see as this basically Regan Utham seems to appear in a massive light-like show, as if he has himself been enlarged into gargantuan size. As he now stands, and as you can hear him speaking out something in Draconic. For those who do understand Draconic, you hear, "For those who follow Lithotara, I stand here before you, challenging your right and belief to face me and my god. Any who dare to challenge, I stand at Rimperser's last hope."
I think I hear that just because I didn't cover my ears.
Regan Utham then gives a weird like hand motion that give me a knowledge religion, Eider and Kaz real quick to see if you recognize what this symbol means.
Knowledge religion, you said?
Yes.
33.
33?
Sorry, 32.
32.
Wow, you got a massive knowledge religion.
Yeah.
Bro is an int build, remember? He's
Fair enough.
made to be intelligent, so.
Oh, that's a nat 20
Nat 24.
for a 24.
Nice. So both of you recognize this as an ancient abyssal term, or like a form of speaking, to mean basically to call one's god or one's parentage. The parentage or god could be interchanged here, as weak, pathetic, and mouse-like. No offense, Patter. Which is basically the worst thing to this in this age that would ever been stated about another's god. This is basically a direct challenge to said god from a mortal. And so Regan Utham saying this, showing this, means he has a backer that is powerful enough to scare, theoretically, Lithotar, or does not give two shits.
Well, technically, I met his god, so
If it
sense.
was him, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, right.
I just gonna suck air and look at Bartis and the Regan's probably gonna put you on a rack after that one.
Oh, he knows about it. Oh wait, I didn't tell him. Oh shoot, I was supposed. I did have a meeting with him today.
I don't know that he necessarily would mind because I don't think he has any love for them, but seems like he would much prefer to make these kinds of decisions on his own.
My cousin isn't going to be bothered by it, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Who the hell is your cousin?
Oh, he kind of looks at you and goes, "So, Domnander, what did you think of the Regan Utham light show?" As he turns to me and looks over.
Do I remember that the golden god appeared in the form of a dwarf when we saw him?
You did see you saw a black-skinned, with white hair, and dark-eyed Snowbeard. So from not dark-eyed, gold-eyed, Snowbeard.
Yes.
So they did not look like a traditional Snowbeard who are pale-skinned, because remember, either's albino, coloration. He is pale. This guy was basically opposite in coloration. So,
then Bardris doesn't look like a
Bardris also
Snowbeard.
doesn't look like a Snowbeard because he's brown-haired, brown-eyed, and tan.
Mm-hmm. I think Dom can't confirm his suspicions, but has a hunch. But Dom turns around to kind of look at it, determining that it's not a threat now, and goes, Utham might not be happy if it's done without his permission, but like I said, I don't think he's entirely worried about the Eldritch Giants. There are far bigger things on his plate. I don't think he'd mind you borrowing his visage and doing such a thing. I mean, if they're going to storm the capital he's in, I wish them luck. And he kind of hops in a way that's clearly sarcastic. The Gloom did not succeed, and they were the best assassins
Yeah,
ever.
but
I'm not sure.
Listen, I'm not saying that Utham couldn't handle it. I'm just saying that this is another bad thing in our reputation for leading more bad things.
Oh no, definitely the common frost giants. The number of casualties suffered would be far worse.
And even one of these giants is a match for Utham. At least as far as I know.
I guess it is
That's
true.
If they decide to go through with it, I think their goddess is quite aware of where we are due to and he taps their mark on the back of their necks. So I don't imagine they will stay.
Lithotar is in Cataclysm.
But she's working with Cataclysm, or Cataclysm's working with her, is it not?
Bard
It was
just
listed
looks
as one
over.
of the pillars.
Bard just looks over at you and goes, "Wait, you guys are... Oh, you took that deal. Ah." He kind of scribbles a little note in a little notebook as he pulls it out and kind of puts it back away. And he looks over and goes, "I wouldn't worry personally about Regan Utham being upset with you in the slightest. A party's going to come along in a few months, maybe 6 months, 7 months roughly. Should come with great news for the Regan, and we'll put him in a grand mood with how the world is going to turn. Should everything continue the way it is. Kesnanok, you shouldn't die today, and if you do, we will see the end of the world. But that should be that's only a 2% chance."
Huh. Honestly,
All right, Kaz, get in your
I
room.
like those odds. No, fuck it. I listen. I'm not one who's gonna hide away from death.
But at
You
that
seem to
mention,
make a lot of decisions for other people. It's like if the world ends, you're making a lot of decisions for a lot of people.
Then I will embrace that good night, and you should too.
Bart just kind of looks at you and like goes back to the wheel, shakes his head, no. Anyways, as far as it goes, I wouldn't worry though with Regan. And going into this, those Eldritch Giants don't have a chance at making up the mountain. There's a being that, well, no, it's too early to explain that. Let's just say that Regan Utham is well protected by destiny, regardless of his decisions.
First to me, let's go.
He kind of looks at you and goes, "What do you mean? We're already on our way."
Oh, I thought you could go faster.
I can, but it'll kill all of you and anything underneath us. Also, our Tachi.
What was the last part?
Attaché.
All of everyone below us.
Oh,
Guess wouldn't be good for us to do. Kind of need that town alive.
He nods and goes, "That and the fact that if I'm going above the clouds, it'll give a big rift in the storm or in the clouds to make it really easy to follow us. And I don't know about you, but your god's the blessing that you've taken with those amulets, and the weird cats that keep walking around here. Do none of you see these things?"
look down.
As you look about, give me a search check. Each of
I'll
you.
also make a search check. Yes. Using my peepers.
21.
21.
Alright.
I'm not gonna have gotten that good.
A search check. I got a +0 to
9.
those, so we'll see what works.
Admittedly, did Kaz get a
bad.
cat sweater as well?
15.
Because he didn't
Huh?
make the deal.
Did I make the deal? Last time I checked, I was chilling.
You did not get an amulet, but as you're looking around.
Oh.
Mhm, yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I have no part in that deal, you guys.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
you
it's
didn't.
As you're kind of like
Helpful
looking around
armor.
for a cat, the three of you kind of look about. Oh, sorry, what was that, Dom?
I was gonna say the amulet's actually mechanically useful, so it kind of sucks you didn't get it.
As you look about, none of you see the cats, kind of running about.
Nope.
As
What the hell are you on about?
Bart just kind of looks at you and just goes, "It's nothing. I guess. I don't know why they keep staring at me like they're hungry."
There was cats that appeared, but only when Chikix was around. Back before he got banished.
Wait. Did you banish him or did you kill him?
I mean, I sent him to Abaddon. That's the same as killing him.
No. Specifically, did you kill him or did you banish him?
But sent him to Abaddon.
Okay. And we should be safe for the time being, and that makes me feel a lot better as it continues to move. Keep the ship moving. Because if you hadn't, oh god, that would have meant what chaos would have been taken in. He would have eaten it, absorbed it, and probably torn our ship out of the sky. I would have watched my head be torn off again. God, that'd be the 7th time in my lifetime. That is a weird thing to have happen 7 times, you know.
You need better friends.
I don't. What do you mean? My friends are dead.
Then make new ones. What the hell?
Well, they've been dead for. Well, I guess they haven't been born yet. So not years, but yet years.
So you will have been dead?
Is it undead? He looks over at Kesdenok, kind of like with a raised eyebrow.
Well, if they haven't been born yet, I don't see how they could be undead.
To be
That
dead,
is
but to
the
be known,
opposite of
to be dead, but not to be dead. One
Well,
must
I think
wonder.
it's
I mean, with the
Whatever
exception of those
it's
goslings,
like.
they were kind of like dead before they were born, and were born undead. Honestly, might have to go do some thinking on that one.
Yes, the morality of that with your religion does raise quite a few questions. If you are dead before being born, I feel like that has a lot of implications.
Just Kyle just looks at Sita and the both of you and goes, "Yeah, I don't. I'm more of a magic guy than divination and godly individual. My cousins were
I
better at all
punch
that.
people.
Zarius was a genius when it came to that kind of stuff. Always talking about gods. Knew all about it. Did nothing but research them. Very smart fella.
Why do
But-
you know the god of greed?
I don't know what you mean. No. The god of Zarius is he's a merchant. He runs a Golden Heart merchant company. I'm gonna roll that real quick. Give me
I was
a
gonna say,
give me a sense motive to see if you can catch the
do
bluff.
I get advantage if I was already suspicious?
Well, I rolled a nat 1, so fuck it.
That's a 25. So
That's a nat 1 for a 1, so I don't
Ooh.
give a shit.
Well, my sense motive's good, but it's not that good.
I just like slowly remember I do in fact have a cousin named Zarius.
Yeah, there is another Zarya.
there is a
Honestly,
Golden
why
Heart
is-
merchant company. Zarius, yep. As he goes and goes.
Why is the god of greed named after the golden heart guy?
Oh, he
Kinda
looks
weird.
up as Bard just kind of looks up. He goes, "Oh, the names are I've heard our gods take our mortals take names of great gods constantly. Easy mix up. I understand. Don't hurt. Don't worry about this.
Is
Yeah,
it
do you know how many
not
Regan Newton
sacrilege?
juniors I ran into?
Mm-hmm." He nods at that. What was
No?
that, Dom?
There are Reagan Newton Juniors? Who
I-
would take the name of a Reagan without permission?
Actually, the name Reagan as a first name is very common amongst frost giants. It's kind of a weird thing. It's supposed to be like naming yourself after
Yes, it's
your
a-
day job, the job you want. You know?
Yes,
I mean, I
it
met a
is
frost giant
the
called
title.
Ronald Reagan once.
I've heard rumors of that guy, but that is different thing.
He just shrugs at that, and Ryder just goes, okay. Well, it's gonna take about 3 days, so if you want to get comfy, find yourself some spaces to go relax, I'll keep us going for the next couple days. Shouldn't take too long. As he kind of looks about you lot, kind of clearly trying to get the conversation to end. Kez walks away, just kind of accepting, heads downstairs.
I'll look at Eider, who's the only one currently here.
Mhm.
Beloved party leader. I
What do you want?
recall which. Do you say that in character?
Yeah, it's like, this is like prime, like suck up. Like, what do you want? Like,
Dom goes to speak, gets that, and just kind of gives you a flat look, like.
oh, sorry, I thought you were asking
here
for
to-
something.
No, you repaired my gauntlets. I'm immensely grateful. I have the party funds. I don't need the money. If I was going to, I was going to ask if you wanted to discuss potential plans of approach to the tomb we might die in. If you are against strategizing, though, by all
No, no.
means.
Fuck you, Raider!
Sorry, it's just been a fucking weird day. It's on pins and needles here. Anyway, I pull out the map from
Yes.
the research we did. That like little rubbing that I took.
I will.
So I have a
Look back in
question.
chat
Why,
for
why
that.
is Kesnanok against Raider?
Hater.
Oh, I thought you said Raider, and I was like, why are you saying fuck you, Raider at the tomb thing? We just tried to help you guys. What?
No.
I was like, damn, that's a call and a half.
No.
Okay. Making sure.
Dom, I'm scrolling to find it out of character, but Dom, looks over the map with Eider. I recall which statue has the button for us to enter, but after that, we should probably assess what route we want to take. There's likely to be a multitude of traps. We should plan for ways to evade those. Potentially, it might be as simple as just carrying some big rocks and tossing them ahead of us, I'll be honest.
Yeah, Eider like slaps down like a little scepter and says, "Rocks aren't bad. For anything that we feel like we don't know the best of, I took the liberty of making this during the last week or so."
You've been busy. Dom like looks like messes with his repaired gauntlets and looks pretty impressed. It's a compliment.
I just like kind of like toys with like the gauntlets that have been glowing a sickly yellow.
Yeah,
Like,
you've got your own gauntlets. And we gauntlet buddies now. Hey, fist
oh,
bump.
and like Fizzbub is like, oh, by the way, I created a brand new alloy while everything happened, so that's also a thing.
Hmm. What does it? What are its properties?
Called the Sun's Tear. Like gesture, like to like the blatant ambient glow that it seems to be going off. I like think for a moment and it's like, here, let me show you. This won't really do anything. Just kind of stand still. And he just like punch, like rears back and just like punches you. It just does no nothing happens.
Yeah. I think the last time I was told to stand still and either like blasted his powers at me in Utham's lab, nothing happened. So Dom is like no hesitation, does not flinch. You can punch him in his knee.
It offers a bit of protection to nearby allies.
That is incredibly useful.
Kind of nods. So if we get overwhelmed, I guess everyone should form a bit of a circle.
Well, I don't imagine there is much use other than covering more ground to us splitting up. But given the labyrinth that this tomb is, intentionally so, I think that would be a suicide mission. I don't plan to go far.
I don't either. So definitely
and I have found the map.
Oh, thank God. I was looking for it and I couldn't.
Hang on. Let me try to reply to it so I can, so you can find it. Jump to message. Because there's like two main. We can either go left or right, and both of them look very, very convoluted.
Yeah. I kind of like gesture, like kind of like tap, like because like did like a rubbing. It's not nearly as detailed. It's just kind of like got like the outline. So like we know like the general like topography.
Yeah.
But like gesture is like, this is obviously an old map. I wouldn't recommend swearing your life by it. But there is a possibility of trying to get a sense of the trail that they took and following that in. Most likely they will have disabled or tripped any traps along the way, so it should be safer.
Part of my worry is, unless Valthana knows of the button to press, that they have not entered the tomb, but rather are waiting at the mouth of it for us. If they have gone and know, though that risks them getting the artifact, it was make things easier knowing they've tripped traps. So I've not raided tombs in the past, and as a Snowbeard, I imagine you would know more culturally. Is it typical for the important artifact to be stored in like the biggest elaborate room, or do you think it's like a fake out? And Dom gestures to like the giant room with the pool for reference, and it's like, we think it's here. Is this like too obvious?
It's most likely there. There are some people, I imagine, that try to be a little too clever for their own good, but I mean, admittedly, it only has one entrance and requires you go through the rest of the entirety of the layout. So
yes,
I think it stands to reason, most likely.
The path on the right to me appears more appealing. It looks like it might be more heavily trapped, but given my reach over people and the amount of cover it would have, it'd be easier for me to hit them while avoiding them. And people who, like Valthana, rely on sight for spellcasting would have a harder time seeing us. The path on the left is a lot more open, and it makes me a bit nervous not knowing who we're fully up against. Not to mention Lagrossa's dragon form would likely have a harder time fitting through those tunnels than in the wide rooms.
Minor reminder, you and Lagrossa are about the same height whenever he is a dragon, so the tunnels would also hamper you, Ned, and Kez as well.
Would not
Maybe.
hinder my
What about
arm.
width-wise?
I would say width-wise, and also imagine the
I
dragon
don't care
has
to you're
wings,
both large size.
but the
That's what I'm putting out.
dimensions, the girth.
It's not about length.
Tis
It's about,
a-
yeah.
Fine, we'll put you. You know what? I hope there's a hole that's only big enough for you to fit through, and you have to go in by yourself.
I'm just pointing out we shouldn't fight them in the tunnels. The fuck are you on about?
I don't want to fight a dragon in the open.
It has a
Kaz,
line
who is
breath.
not
It can just
here,
hit us.
psychically manifests.
Then we get
Yes, I
behind it in the tunnel so it can't turn around.
What?
And then you grab the poison
no, what we
dagger
do
and you
is
make
we-
sure to shove it where no one can see.
Do we have a poison
We
dagger?
go up behind Lagrosa, we grab him by his tail, and then we just drag him around the central pillar a few times. Like the central part, just it's like a dog chasing its own tail.
Listen, I don't think we have any actual poison, but I'm pretty sure alcohol is also considered a poison.
Oh,
so if we just
yes,
dip the
I-
dagger of Grandpa with alcohol and stab the dragon
I'm
in
not
the
losing
butt.
another finger. I need both middle fingers.
I should mention I do have not one that would be super effective. I do have some remaining airborne poison from Zilpip, which means if I were alone in the tunnels in a last ditch attempt, I could don my mask and throw that down, and it might not stop them, but it might slow them if you all would need to escape. So it might be the best route for a retreat from the tomb.
Seems reasonable.
It's I don't fully know what it does, but I do know it is airborne, and the mask prevents those poisons from working on me. Everything else is a little bit up to fate at this point, unless I can make a roll to identify it
Oh, it's also
right
worth,
here, right now.
it's also worth pointing out. The tomb itself is supposed to be, a frozen over ice pit, with potential like ice outsiders walking around trying to kill us.
Yes. It is.
So, Kez, pack some fire spells.
Yeah,
Oh.
sure.
I have a flint and steel, but I don't think I have much that would do much to them. Do you think
Kez, can you give me quickly a wisdom check?
Absolutely. I can give you a wisdom check. Let's see here. Alright. Wisdom. Grab my dice. 18.
As you begin to look through your spell book, kind of rearranging what you're planning to memorize for the day to be able to cast, kind of gathering up the few ingredients you need to cast these spells at will, you feel a pull towards picking up spells that specifically seem to offer up lawful damage.
Interesting.
Domnender, that's exactly why I was answering that question. It's funny you mentioned that.
I have a strange feeling that I should get spells that do lawful damage, huh?
I have a
Must be a
strange
message
sensation that
from the mother
holy
herself.
water I have is useful.
A push in the right direction.
Domnender, remind me, your holy water, that was made by,
It's made by Kez, so it's Ella
let
Ugba
me
holy water.
double check something. I don't remember.
I say that might only work against undead well, because I know that was her thing. But it is.
That's
yeah,
not what I'm
it's
checking. I'm
it's
checking
still.
something else.
It might have to do
So
with
my-
Ella Ugbo's alignment, because I think Ella Ugbo was lawful neutral. I don't remember, though.
At least when it was made, it was. This is like the containers of the holy water we made like back when we were dealing with the wyvern and the dragon.
Good
and stuff.
old
This was made
clay.
back then.
clay containers full
Oh
of
no,
holy
she
water.
doesn't. Okay, she doesn't.
Yeah,
have
the
anything.
breakable container.
Sadly, from what you can tell, or from what you would have already been told by Kez, holy water only damages creatures from alignment wise if the alignment is very specific to the god, meaning that is something the god is defined by. Unfortunately, as you've heard Kez explained a few times, El Ugbo does not believe in alignment to that mentality. All worship her. She is more based on a mentality overall, but not a morality.
Gotcha.
Is she true neutral? She just doesn't have like an alignment component as one of her domains.
Basically, yep. She has 3 domains:
I
death,
do
life,
have-
and protection, sadly. So...
Yep, would do fuck all.
I will say,
Yeah,
I do
you know, it's
have...
like she's lawful in the aspect of all things will come to her, but not.
Lawful as in, do what I say, not as I do.
The
aka
lawful
best
aspect...
mother logic.
Yeah, the lawful aspect of death would be more Logolthus' domain, and as none of you are followers of his, yeah, unfortunately, this holy water wouldn't do much. If it was, in that case,
I
that
do-
would be- yeah, good.
Out of character, I do still have the potion I've yet to identify that's called Frost Giant's Kiss, and if it does what I think it does, it might be useful against ice-based
It's-
monsters.
It summons Utham to give you a slurpy,
He
just
kisses
sloppy kiss
my
on your
boo-boo.
forehead.
Why sloppy?
I don't know.
Okay, because his fantasies come to light.
Oh my.
Sloppy kisses.
So yeah,
But
back
as
to
you
the
look over,
planet.
as you look over the plan, as you hear Kez kind of say this out loud, that he feels drawn to these spells, kind of catching you, Eider and Domnander, to attention. It's not hard to immediately for both of you to realize that means whatever's probably inside of this, your cleric is being drawn to slay something that's probably evil aligned, most likely. And given, as you've already kind of discussed, if the iciness is a theme, then you're probably looking at some sort of creatures that are icy and evil.
Well, if it's a question, I don't want to
Yeah.
mean to. If lawful damage would do it, would that mean that they're chaotic in nature?
Not necessarily. Interestingly enough, with how damages work. Actually, yes. Sorry, I am wrong. Never mind. No, it is true.
Yeah, list the
because
damage
it's
that it
chaotic
becomes.
is listed first instead of evil. Okay? Never mind. I thought it was the other way around. Yes. So typically that would mean that they are chaotic.
Okay.
My apologies. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Which should also give you a mentality of what kind of beasts or individuals you'll be dealing with personality-wise when it comes to fighting. To kind
Do
of
we
keep in mind.
think? Never mind. Probably not.
So, go ahead.
There's no dumb ideas. while we're
No,
planning.
Go ahead. You got a second.
Well,
I'm
I
gonna
was
grab some
wondering if-
water while you're planning something, but I'm listening. Go ahead.
out of character, do my silvered gauntlets only work against lycanthropes, or do they also work on other things?
So if they have a silver weakness, yes, they will work technically because it.
Okay.
So
I was saying,
silver
just
is
because
silver.
3.5, I'm still learning the weaknesses and stuff too.
No,
but
yeah, you're
I'm also
100%
wondering if it's just not as good as just keeping the new ones I have because they're very useful.
Yeah. So for reference, if a creature has a silver weakness, yes, most. I'm not gonna say all because I'm not 100% sure on that. Most lycanthropes have a weakness to silver. I don't remember if were-tigers do off the top of my head. I assume they do. But with that in mind, any creature typically that also would share that weakness is going to be weak to the same silver. But there's only one type of silver when it's considered damaging wise. So yeah, as far as it goes, anything that should have that same weakness, you should be fine to hit.
Yes. All right. I'm trying to think.
Theoretically, you can use the gauntlets. By the way, they're weapons. They're not magic items. So like they can go over.
Well, but
the glove.
I don't think I could stack the two gauntlets on top of each other, so I just know the time it would take to like swap them out might.
No, that's what I'm
fuck
saying. It's
me
like
when we're
like,
cornered.
base rules. The gauntlets are just like they're martial weapons.
Mhm.
Your actual gloves are magic items. Like you can wear the gauntlets over the gloves.
Oh. Oh. Damn. Okay. I was not aware of that. I thought they both took the hand slot and therefore were different.
Wait, sorry for what?
It's the gauntlets that so Dom has like the silver gauntlets that we have. they also like the magic items that I made for them.
Mhm.
You can stack them because the gauntlets that I made for them are just magic items. They're not actual weapons. The gauntlets themselves, though, are weapons. Like you can put them on over the gauntlets and they still work
Yeah,
because they're just materials, basically.
that is technically, it's a weird finicky thing that gauntlets versus gloves is the argument. And so yes, the apparel item in D&D is called a glove. The weapon is called a gauntlet. Technically, you can't wear a glove under a gauntlet. I don't know if you've ever tried. It's not comfortable, but it's possible, which is where the ruling comes from. And I'll stick to it as is.
Isn't the item called Gauntlets of Wiser Hands though? I thought they were also gauntlets.
They use the interchange. They use the terminology
Oh,
gauntlet and glove interchangeably whenever like you're talking about the apparel. It's the glove item slot.
Yep. So
Gotcha.
you can technically wear both because you have one that's a gauntlet is a weapon versus like bracers and such, or the other another item like a glove is specifically not considered a weapon. So it's the
Cool.
weirdness of D&D.
I have mismatched gloves. I have multi-layered gauntlets.
I was gonna say,
Dom's
doesn't
got,
mean
like,
you have to take
5
the
things on
gauntlets
his hand.
off to like use the silver from the other items. Basically, would be the idea. So that'd be the only difference is you just drop one item.
Or would the well, I would say would it be the other way around? But I would need the knuckles exposed for the acid damage on the other one. So those would have to, those would have
basically
to be
same thing.
up.
Yeah, so whichever one you want doing the
I just
damage,
put
you'll have at the top.
Put the silver gauntlets on backwards so I can just like open palm silver strike.
But like gauntlets are a pair of weapons, so
Yep.
like you can just go 1 and 1.
Technically, yes, you can.
That's fine. That's fine. I think we'll figure this out. when we
Wait till
get
you
there.
find out brass knuckles technically don't count as gauntlets.
Dom can have like gauntlets, gloves,
And brass
bandages,
knuckles.
rings, and
Go at
brass
it.
knuckles. Just 6
But no,
layers.
as you guys are looking over the map, Barger's still kind of flying the ship. He is speeding up as you're noticing, looking out. There are little portholes that seem to have been added along the sides of the second level. As you can look out, you see the trees are starting to blend into almost a green-like paste. It's, as you look, almost kind of sickening as the amount of speed you're putting on for the first time. Although you don't feel the inertia, you're just looking at it, is quite shocking. But as you kind of continue to look over the map, the ship seems to continue to speed up and head off.
Just kind of like tell them, don't look out the window. Then they immediately look out the window, and we nod.
No, Dom's looking over the map and is still trying to figure out which route
Okay.
is the best.
I'm
Hmm.
again, I like favor like following their tracks. Like if we can get a sense of like which way they went. Like assuming like we don't have a enter the Thunderdome moment the moment that we fucking get there. It seems
We just hear
unlikely.
boss music the moment we exit the ship.
It was like, all right, then, well, cool. We don't have to worry about which one to go then, I guess.
I do think if we cannot find their trail, the path to the right seems ideal to me strategically, but I do think following their footsteps is the best since we would need to intervene on them getting the item, and knowing where they are is simply the easiest. It can. No, Dom probably wouldn't know anything about buildings. Yeah, he's just looking at the map.
So,
Yes,
according to the map, so eventually we assume where the that pool is where we need to go. Yeah, that's the assumption.
Mhm.
All right.
You see
the room right before
Kez
it.
now has like soaked coffee beans in like light water just enough to where they're a little bit puffed up and is like stabbing them with a fork and eating them.
Pop beans.
It's like a cereal, you know.
Because I think you have a problem.
Hey, how about check yourself before you wreck yourself?
Do you think people can get addicted to coffee? I
Oh,
don't know if
absolutely not.
I don't know, he keeps scratching his neck. It's worrying.
You see Kez's eyes like are like bloodshot red, like he hasn't slept in days.
Yeah, it turns out when you're sanctifying a whole area, it really takes it. It kind of gives you like a side effect of insomnia. Mm-hmm.
No, do you just hear like the screams of the damned or something?
Only sometimes.
I think
Not as much as when I first did it.
I just like side up to like Dom and whispers like, I think Kez needs a vacation.
I think we all need a vacation.
As you look over at me, slightly twitching at that, you know.
If we succeed in this tomb endeavor, there wasn't saying we couldn't take a break before we go hunt down the cataclysm and stuff.
I absolutely need to.
There's too much work to be done for me, at least.
I have so much I want to do.
Either Dom, who in the last day and this week have met a total of, I think, 7 gods in total. Actually, no, 8, because if we count the, yeah, no. Yep, so roughly 8 gods in total that you know of. So, as you've been going on, it takes its toll, and Kez looks very worn out. Eider's eyes are definitely drooping. The looks on each of your faces definitely kind of show the wear and tear on your minds with all that's gone on and all that you're having to process. Even with the idea of the quest now that you've been given to go take out this Hellfire Worm, a creature known as an apex monster, a beast able to take out nations, isn't something you easily leave behind in the back of your mind to kind of as you contemplate this. But as you look over the map with the realization, you hear over the intercom as each of you kind of agree to this, you hear from Bargis go, well, good news is, after this, you should all be able to rest. By the way, also even better news, I can hear everything in the ship from up in the captain's seat. So good news, Eider, you can finally hear when Kesnok's talking shit about you.
I realize that now.
By the way, Kesnok, there's a little thing under each of the beds that basically increases the sound. So when you're talking while sitting there and looking over your book, I can hear every whisper. I heard what you were saying there a moment ago. The coffee beans, by the way, are not free, and I will be charging you.
Should have said that beforehand.
This is our airship. What are you talking about?
Those are mine. I resupplied this entire ship.
They were not labeled, sir.
You look at it, you see Kez kind of like lean over and like tear off the sheet of paper that says Bardris on it on the coffee bean can.
I heard an ominous tearing of parchment of some kind.
Yeah, I managed. I did hear that.
Hear what?
I better be the
My eyes
map you were
twitch.
tearing. I swear to God.
My eyes are twitching.
As he kind of continues on, he goes, Bargis goes, well, good news is you've got about 2 more days of rest that you guys should be able to get while you look over this. Get yourself some thoughts going through your head, some good food, and don't eat my damn coffee beans because the last bean in there is poisonous. As Kez goes silent.
Last bean. But just the last bean. You'll never know.
You know, what is the last bean?
I just hope you didn't accidentally shake the can because it looks like the rest of them, honestly. I had to label the thing specifically.
Is it the big bean that was poisoned, or does the can poison the bean that is left?
No, it was the last bean put in there. It was supposed to be a gag as a gift because I'm immortal. No poisons or anything can kill me, so I do it as like a spicy, fun enjoyment at the end of the day. It would be horrible to a mortal. It castrates you and then it makes you tear your throat out from burning. It's a horrible pain to a mortal being.
If it's the last bean that was put in it, wouldn't that mean it's at the top?
No, I buried it at the bottom so I wouldn't accidentally pick it up on the top. Only an idiot would leave it at the top. Who wants the first bean to be the poisonous one? God, that's just terrible.
Who wants any bean to be poisoned?
It would get the worst of it out of the way, and honestly, that's how I usually prefer to deal with things.
Listen, it's a different understanding. These things are complicated. I have to do this to keep us all alive. Just understand that I hope you weren't the one to get the last bean in there. It should have a little note on it that dissolves in water. In fact, actually does dissolve in water. That was probably a poor decision to make.
A note on a bean?
Good luck.
Kez, how eager are you to meet your god?
I'm ready anytime, anyway.
Maybe we just skip the bean eating for now, and if you've already eaten it, we'll know in a couple hours when you digest it.
I wonder if it matters if you chew it or not. I've just been popping them like pills from time to time.
What are pills?
Don't worry about it.
Nosebleed.
As Kesnanock's like little like medic bag over there, like we is putting it away, little capsules in it, a little bit of peanut butter wrapped around it. Like no, it doesn't matter.
Hey, you take some medicine, you cover it in like chocolates or something sweet, so that when you take it, the medicine isn't as bitter and definitely a lot more palatable to take.
As Dom Nender stares at you blankly.
Well, I mean, yeah. I'm sorry that it wasn't the answer you were looking for.
I didn't do anything to suggest I was unhappy with the answer.
I don't know.
I
You
think
kind
you're
of just.
projecting.
I mean, you just gave me a blank look, huh? I was expecting at
I
least
always-
something like, "Oh, hey, that's cool," or "Hey, that's stupid, Kez."
Because
Hey, that's
Yes.
stupid, Kez.
this is my
Thank you.
default expression. I always look like this. And I will say, Dom does have kind of a bit of a resting, like a casual, neutral resting bee face when he's just looking at
An
people.
RBF.
Yeah, just not like necessarily like he looks like he would attack you, but he very much looks like he does not care all the time.
Hey, listen, only the special few of us are blessed with the face that look like it's gonna mug you for some reason, and then therefore you have to be followed around by cops everywhere you go.
I used to have that face on me as Kazanok.
Ken smiles at remembering, looking at a fond painting he has, he keeps in his satchel.
This is what I used to look like.
As you look at this gross, burly, hairy, greasy-looking man, muscles bulging, but
mountain of a man.
he is rough-looking.
Hmm.
His nose
Yeah.
is jagged in every way it can. Both ears are cauliflowered out, as if he's been boxing with bulls. His head looks like it's taken more lumps than it could count for. Basically, it's like the difference would be Squidward to beautiful Squidwards as you're looking between the two.
Yeah, I got most of those wounds when I was up in the Storm Giant Kingdoms. They're a lot rowdier than the Fire Giants.
I would not know from personal experience, but I don't doubt it. I really only have experience with the Frost Giants.
Hey, that's fair. Honestly, you it wasn't bad growing up with the Storm Giants. There was a monicum of security. Not many people would go up there. However, when you're a half-breed, there's other dangers that you face. But we're not going to get into that right now.
Yes.
Hmm.
Probably
But-
not best to unpack all of that right before we
Bard just
Go
kind of crackles over the
fight some
incarm and goes,
Cornflakes.
you could go to sleep if you really need it. We've got a couple of days worth of movement. Didn't made it.
Wow.
Honestly, an impressive feat your
you-
companion has
Ca-
there.
Did you cast a spell on him? That was like instantaneous.
Face slam straight into the coffee beans.
The dreams of Zilpip as they start to come.
No!
You watch
Foul Spectre, this cannot be!
Kesnok starts
Dom.
doing his traditional fight sleeping.
I
Dom
promise I'll
pulls
be
down the
good.
mask.
I'll treat Christmas right. I promise.
Good, Thompson.
I just look at Iter like, anyway, are you wanting to sleep or should we go back to planning?
I just kind of like shrug and say, if it makes you feel better to keep planning, then I can. But honestly, we don't have the information to make a solid plan. I generally
Think
plan
perhaps
whenever I see
we-
the information I've got in front of me. This is enough to make a
Hmm.
vague outline, but the more we index on it, it becomes a exercise in futility after a certain point.
I would agree. I do think we should entertain the hypothetical of what our course of action is should they have gotten the item and left already. It was our goal to inform Mutham right away, so someone else can chase it. Is our goal to chase them down? I'm not keen on them having it, but depending on if our timing was incorrect, they might already be at it.
I mean, we just would have to make the call in the moment. It depends on a great many things. For example, if they left tracks behind, if there's anything we think we can still gain from the actual ensigns after we explore it a little bit.
Well, you are the leader. I'll trust your judgment on this, and I assume we're like sat, or like at least Dom's hunched over the table to look at the map, the Eider proportionate map. So I'll like lean down to pat your shoulder.
I gesture up and kind of hand the thing over because I know Dom is a warrior, so I imagine it might be some kind of mental comfort to him to study it, if nothing else.
Yeah. Actually, I wasn't gonna do it, but now that you've given me the map, can Dom make some kind of roll history intelligence to determine based off the shape what the purposes of each room might be? Like, is that one large room in the upper left like a ceremonial hall? Like, what might these smaller rooms be? I'm not sure what exactly would be. I don't know if it would be my monk hunter's choir profession.
I'll take architecture and engineering, or dungeoneering, or history. They will all three give different answers. I will warn.
Okay. Yeah, I figured as much. I don't have any cool building stuff, so I'm just rolling straight history based off maybe what he might have seen in Utham's personal library. Hey, I got a 5. This is a good sign. I'm up all night for no reason.
And is that a history, religion, or is that history and engineering, or architecture, or engineering?
It was just a plain old history.
History? Okay. You remember... This is a tomb. Congratulations, your Book of Tombs 101. You're 100%. This is a medium-sized tomb. As you kind of pull it out of your thing, little study book that you made from your lessons with Regan Utham on things to learn before you go out on your own as an adventurer. Now he gave a full, great breakdown. You took your notes here, and as you're looking over this, I mean, it was a day that you were kind of half asleep. It wasn't about combat. It was about learning how bricks can tell you how things move. Rocks aren't that interesting.
No.
As you kind of look over it, looking through your notes, you're roughly sure the front area looks to be a receiving room, and the central area where that water fountain looks to be is probably some place that could house a throne or some sort of a divine artifact. But the thing you have written underlined is, if it's obvious, don't do it. And it's underlined 4 times and it says, personal note from Regan Utham.
If it's obvious, don't do it. If it's obvious, don't do it. The big room's obvious. Then that means we shouldn't go to the big room. We need to go to the smallest room. The smallest room is where they'd hide the item. Which one of these? There are 2 very small closet-style rooms. Which one would be the least suspect? And just starts to himself while Eider's leaving, starts going on pulls out his own personal book, and it's starting to go on a tangent.
Wishing he remembered all those lessons, trying to recall every little bit about it.
It's 2 days later, and I fucking walk into Dom's room. He's got a full goddamn corkboard of shit.
Yeah,
I should not have left you alone with that.
There's a scroll that falls off the table and continues rolling out past the door, just of several notes of psychology, reverse psychology, reverse psychology.
No, only one thing can happen.
God damn.
Don't you understand? The item is the tomb. No.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Dom does go into a bit of a rabbit hole with it, but I don't think he loses sleep because he does impress the need to be in physical shape. So if he starts getting too restless, I think he would just do his monk exercises.
Okay. As the 3 of you kind of set yourselves up, Kez kind of passing out in the bunks in the central room, kind of next to the kitchen or the galley itself. the Eider finding himself to going up to the captain's quarters where he's most accustomed to sleep. Oh wait, no, you were avoiding the captain's quarters if I remember right.
Yeah, I kept on getting told that I would die if I slept in there.
Yeah, that's right. I remember now. Yeah, never mind. Sorry. Still remembering now to go up there. You kind of stop at the stairs, look up, kind of shake your head, nod, and turn back around towards you.
I think I might this time though because the underbelly is like full of lyrium now.
That is true.
And I do just have like a constant like little magical field that I don't want to fucking find out what lyrium like interacts with right this second.
So, as you're kind of looking up the stairs, down the stairs, and at the end of the hall, I will say, at the end of the galley, the main room of the galley is the galley on one side, and then the little bunks, and I forget what those net things are called that people sleep in. Hunter, the thing you like to sleep. Thank you. Hammocks kind of tied off, but a little bit further down, about halfway down into the ship, is about 2 rooms now set up, as if looking as if they've been designed. You can see little markings on the doors that you can kind of, as you look to investigate. You can give me a spellcraft roll if you want to try and take figure out what these are, but you can definitely tell almost immediately these things are very magical. And I don't recall if you guys had these on the ship previously, but this was an update for what Bargus has done to them. So,
32.
32. You recognize this as a unique spell, but it basically works like Pocket Dimension. In a sense, it creates a pocket dimension based on the individual who opens or turns the doorknobs, personal preferences for where they like to relax. So, in your case, it would be maybe a smithy with a small bed off to the side wall, where you can also store, like in chests, your metals. Have a small smithy itself set up, areas to actually do your crafting and such. To someone like, say, your crazy uncle that vanished so many years ago, it might be a mountaintop where it's just freezing snow hitting you constantly and nothing else. You know. Yeah, so that would be kind of the ideas from what you can gather. These seem to be set up to be able to take things in, but not be taken out, unless it's by the person who it's personally driven to. So the pocket dimension is only locked to you. Another cannot enter without your permission, from what you can tell.
Yeah. Spend because I've got to do something for 2 fucking days or I'll lose my goddamn mind.
That's fair.
So I'll spend some a chunk of the time just kind of studying the spell effect, seeing if I could replicate it to I don't know, potentially make a smithy I can access on the go. Considering the amount of time that we fucking are never in one place.
Yeah, give me another knowledge arcana check while you're doing that. For that, let's see what you can see if you can figure out how to reproduce this to a more personal effect.
Let's see. If I fully buff it, then that's a 36.
I think there's a familiar spell in 5e, and I can't remember. I think it's called Bigby's Traveling.
It's like Lehman's Tiny Hut.
Yeah, that's it. Lehman's Tiny Hut. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. That's what. So similar to that, as you begin to work on something.
The Magnificent Mansion, not Tiny Hut.
Yeah, it's Mordenkainen's Magnificent Mansion.
No worries. I want to check. Is it the same in 3.5? I don't know. Pocket DM, can you do a double check for the spell in the background for me and send it to me? I'll just alter it later for later effect. But as you begin to work on this either over the next day, it takes you a little bit to recreate something like this, but it seems almost that the spell is recreatable to a lucid effect. As you begin to craft it, will determine spell level after. You manage to figure out that you can create this, but it creates a box of sorts that still can be interacted with on the physical plane. It just can't hurt the things inside of it. As you are able to replicate this with that roll. Meaning, so if a rhino ran into the giant this cube, you wouldn't feel it inside, but when you climb out of it, you might be climbing out of it and suddenly be upside down, or somewhere else than where you entered.
Gotcha. So it's like an anchor in physical space, but doesn't interact with non-terrestrial matter.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And it seems that though no others can enter it without your permission or the permission of the caster as you manage to make it. And again, I'll determine spell level after or here in a bit. But we'll make a note for that for the to-do list. as you start kind of working away at this, you do manage to create it to a point of only locking it to one object of a crafting room to lower and make the spell easier to work with. Managing to get it down to 6th level as a spell itself, really truly almost it's a grandeur in its own right, but allowing you to more be able to understand and able to create it. It will only create this blacksmithy though from going forward.
Yep, don't need it to.
Yeah, so it won't like put a bed or anything. It'll just make a little like smithy shop inside, so you can store stuff in the like chests. You'll have a actual smithy, an anvil set aside, places to actually hang up tools and such. So yeah, perfect.
Will it like persist items between like things? Like, is it locked to like an actual space, or is it just kind of recreating it?
So the item, when you create it, if you are bringing material in from the material plane, and it can be taken out as if it was crafted in the material plane. However, if you just make goods in that plane, they will not ever actually exist. In a sense that they are imaginative. So you could practice your smithing abilities without using any materials, but you would never be able to take anything out in that case. Only items that come in from the material plane going into it, and then they're crafted in there, would be able to come out as an item. Or
that's ridiculously useful.
Mm-hmm.
No, I meant like if I could like store things in there.
Oh, yes. In theory, it should be able to store limited items such as tools, the smithy itself, if you decide to change it out with an actual item, things that would be actually like manifested by the spell itself.
Gotcha. No, that's perfect.
We'll make a note of this for later. But as you kind of work on this over the next 2 days, jumping over to Domnander, is there anything you'd like to do over the next 2 days besides try and put together where this item could be in this place?
I
Which you can do that. I just,
I say I don't think there's much I could do that I would want to do that would be enough in a 2-day time period. So I think Dom kind of consults the map.
Okay.
Is physically training to kind of like stay on top of things. And I think he's also like, while the party's doing whatever, like sitting on essentially like the deck, keeping watch, looking for any signs of like, Lithatara's armies like following the distance, any signs of like Valthana and Lagrosa and their people like below, like any signs of them like retreating from the tomb, like just to make sure we don't like, Scooby-Doo style, like go right past them without noticing.
Okay.
Like a cartoon gag, and is like just keeping an eye out to see if there's like any basically danger or threats.
Give me 2 search checks. We'll do one for looking over the map, and then one for kind of watching out over the ship for the rest of the time.
Give me the no. It's my give me the dice. No, my dice guardian has stolen the dice. Give it.
Is your dice guardian Sugar?
It is a cat, so.
Close enough.
Oh, okay, I got it. This dice better roll good. I just fought for it.
Sugar took it. I've got questions. It's a sign.
So the first, you said they were both search or search and listen?
Just search.
Okay.
Both search.
First search is a 17.
17, okay.
And then second's another 17. Holy fuck.
2 17s. Alright, so the first, as you're looking over the map, you're pretty sure that if you were going to hide a treasure in this, somewhere in here, you'd hide it somewhere that was very obvious, but not easily found. So maybe that central room kind of makes sense as you kind of start looking at it, but maybe as you're wondering, like Eider mentioned, you'll have to see the room in the moment to really get a feel of what's around to potentially have it in there, as it would make the most sense that you'd keep it close by. Kind of looking through that's the only thing that kind of catches your attention, as the rest of the areas look to be almost, while the far right looks to be a worshipping chamber and the far left looks to be more of like a prison chamber, there's not much of anywhere else that catches your attention as a place that you would want to hide something that would be clear for a follower to easily locate. As you kind of think about that, And as you spend the rest of the time watching out, looking out over the ship, you do watch as the ship does pass over in that first night, the massive camp, as you count almost 1,000 campfires out in that blaze in the forest out behind the city of King's End. As the ship kind of passes over it, you get a rough count of around 4,000 to 5,000 giants, looking of differing sizes and shapes, kind of milling about the camp as the ship flies by, taking off at a pretty decent speed. As the ship continues through, you do see in the forest, it looks like there are campfires everywhere that you look. It's strange, but nothing seems to be following you. As you get further away on the second day, the fires start to become less and farther between. Eventually, on the final day, as you're kind of Bardris waking you lot up and kind of pointing to the tomb in the distance. You even then at this point the fires almost look to be gone or absent. Nothing seems to be in this area. It seems almost completely empty. The skies seem to be quiet, though the wind's kind of picking up outside the entire time and heavy with ice and snow this high up. But it looks like lower towards the ground, most of it's just heavy in mud and rain. As Bardris continues through, nothing kind of catches your attention, Dom.
Gotcha.
All right. Kesnanok, what would you like to do over the 2 days?
Kazanok will be searching through his book, trying to find spells that can do lawful damage because he can only cast up to level 2 spells, and the only thing that he can currently find is protection and detect spells. So,
would you like Eider to kind of help you look through your spell book for a moment?
Either that, a pocket DM. Yes.
I was gonna say I would not be surprised if they're like Eider.
I definitely could have overlooked something.
As you start flipping the pages again, Eider kind of like thumbing into one of the pages and being like, "Oh, the line weapon," kind of pointing to it as he taps on it.
At the very front of the book.
Yeah.
Man, I think I actually grabbed the first 2 pages when I started swiping through.
Happens to the best of us, I know.
They're trying not to smile. The distant Bardris standing with Domnander standing looking in the window, giggling. Bardris giggling as he hears all of this with his with his tubes next to his ears.
Also send you one that's very useful against potential. I don't know. They're probably not undead, but they did seem like they may have been mummified. So I have no fucking idea. But they are also ice creatures. So.
He's preparing for whatever Monday ran into.
Actually, I have a question. Would an ice creature be considered crystalline?
No.
No. Sadly.
That sucks.
Like it would have to be made of like literal only ice or crystal.
Yeah. But as
that's what I was thinking, that if it was made of only ice, if it could be considered a crystalline structure, since ice is kind of,
They're most likely cold align, not like literal living ice.
Hey,
Unless they're elementals.
Who knows?
The sudden realization of the elemental potential kind of in the background. No, as over the next 2 days, as you're looking through Kesnanok, Eider kind of pointing out a couple of the spells that his cousin quite often likes to talk about and would often brag about being able to use and cast in his youth for being one of the better priests amongst the family. Kind of points to some of them and being one of the reasons Eider is very familiar with many of these spells as he walks through. So, as you are you just going to be working on your spellbook, or is there anything else you want to do, Kez?
Yeah, I got really nothing else that I want to do right now.
Okay, no worries. As you spend as the three of you spend your time over the next 2 days, kind of going through and doing what you're doing. Food being brought to you, Kez still eating coffee beans straight from the thing, finding the bean that had a small note on it on the second try and kind of tossing it off to the side with a little, I imagine, note that says, "Do not eat." As he enjoys himself. But as you guys enjoy the next 2 days relaxing and kind of kicking back for a moment, taking the breather you needed, the ship finally comes to a landing as Ned kind of pops his head out and looks at you lot as Barges calls for all hands out and about. And kind of look as you hear the latch pulling open and ladder kind of clanking down, and then himself kind of climbing down in the background as the four of you, including Ned, find yourselves kind of still on the middle deck, wait after hearing all this.
All right. Well, it's time of. Are you going to hang out, or you're just going to like show up conveniently whenever we're ready to leave?
Oh, you say this to Ned?
No, I'm saying that the Bargers.
Oh,
Barges, yeah.
As you kind of climb out and head down towards Barges, he smiles and as you say this and goes, I mean, technically, if the person who shows up here and has probably been waiting for you guys for 5 days, he's probably gonna be quite angry. If he's here, I will just be guarding the ship to make sure it doesn't get stolen as it normally would. If I left. If he's not here, then I can go with you without worry.
Okay.
As he just kind of smiles
look
at
around.
you. Oh, my apologies. You know him. You ran into his father, the one who turned into a giant bison or a fish, depending on what you wished for.
Bison.
Ah, so you're the
Wait,
cool bastard.
what happened?
I didn't ask for him to be the bison. I just wanted to see my friend.
Bar just kind of turns to Kezenok and goes, "Your friends made a deals with a bunch of gods while you were sanctifying the church. Your mind being so focused, and from the influence on Lithotar, understandable you were lost in the fact of hearing them thump onto your grounds. It was quite loud, even the city heard it. But as they did, apparently they made deals, and if my readings are correct, they have." Well, I imagine, he kind of looks over at Eider and goes, I imagine they want to tell you exactly what they've decided.
Yep.
Huh.
And he doesn't speak and kind of looks over at Eider kind of expectingly to see if he says anything.
Oh, we worked out a deal with the God of Greed to dispose of the magic items, the 9, as we go through them, since they seem to break themselves free if they're on the same continent. And then we brokered a very temporary but relatively free protection while we were within the confines of the town from Blastara, in exchange for helping her out against the followers of the Rot. It seemed honestly something that you would probably pursue even without being offered anything in return, as the followers include Lithotara, Cataclysm, and another one that escapes me right this moment.
Hellfire Worm.
Going back to the alignment weapons, dispose how?
He's going to break them and take them.
We're giving alignment weapons to Zarius.
Would you prefer that your god tried to take care of them? Because I don't think she can. And the other options we have of trying to get rid of them on this plane are very limited.
It is a concern what the Golden God might use it for,
That's
but
exactly
from
what
my
I'm concerned
understanding,
about. That is a matter of greed.
the issue is if we keep them on this plane together, they will just break each other free. If we kill them, there's a chance they could come back, or someone could revive them or trap their souls again. Unless we had a way of guaranteeing a more permanent trapping or solution, putting it into the hands of a god like them doesn't seem so bad. From what the meeting talked about, it seemed they have rules they specifically cannot break. There was some understanding amongst the group of them that there was protocol to follow, which implies some limitations on what they can and can't do, which to me would imply Zarius might be limited on what he could actually achieve in the mortal world with such souls.
Also, it was a tit for tat. It wasn't that, quite frankly, we don't lose anything if we decide not to. It's simply a transaction.
Yes. Which, given
no.
all the things after us, wouldn't be so bad to have a boon or two.
So what you got out of Zarius is if we give him a alignment weapon, he gives what?
He gives all of us a boon, part of his power, in exchange for the alignment weapon.
What are the what can he even give as a boon?
Well, he's a god, so the sky's the limit, as it were.
I feel like you and the Aita would know more than me. I know Utham does some sort of dealings with him. He's a god of wealth and greed. But I don't imagine any of us are particularly lacking in money right now. He mentioned something about protection, though that was in exchange for a deal for our soul, but I don't imagine as a boon it would be too hard to get some sort of protection in exchange for an item instead. I don't know if you would know more about gods than I, but I imagine it's more than a world leader could give us.
Well, for certain, I just don't know how my god would feel about another god giving me a boon.
You're welcome to reject
As long
it.
as there's that. You would need to confirm with your goddess, but I feel like personally, if you don't
My magic
Great.
8-ball!
your tenets to the faith, don't see why not.
Oh, magic 8-ball.
Yes. What do you
Is it
ask?
okay? Is it okay to take boons from other gods?
Roll a D100.
I love the idea that it's like this is not actually like a magic.
Actually, it's
It's
just
just
random.
a fucking like toy that's time traveled.
Little plastic 8-ball with a little blue square in there. Just
Because it is one of the magic items I
It
got
is a
when we
magic
went
item,
when
yeah.
we went to Abaddon. All right, 61.
Ask again in 2 hours. I'm on break.
Ah, shit.
Gods can go on break? Damn.
I mean,
It's truly concerning when it's a death god going on break.
huh. Oh, well, it looks like I'll have to wait for a minute. Like on a timer or something, I guess.
It's all right. I don't think you need to know right this minute because unless like we turn a corner and there's like just a sword and a fucking stone,
You
Well,
never
it's gonna
know.
come up.
This artifact we're going to get is one of the alignment weapons, so
There's not a chance in hell that we are going to get there in the next like 2 hours. We can't cross a street without 2 hours of worth of planning.
Bart just giggles at that
well,
as you
we're
hear
going to do it.
the sound
now.
of a small dog kind of like give a bit of a bark from the entrance to the tomb as you see the staircases heading up towards the entry into the mountain way or hill. As you see at the kind of top of the first staircase sits. Well, would you like to describe yourself, Patter the Second?
Of course. There is wearing a little cloak, a little brown and white furred mouse with a little thimble sword, riding a dog, just staring up the Gru with little potion bottles on his side, like these tiny little potion bottles.
Just give a very concerned wave and say, hello.
As Eider waves at you, Patter, do you do anything?
I mean, how far away am I from like the staircase?
They are 50 feet down.
So, I think I talk, but seeing how small I am, I don't know if they hear me.
I have good listen.
Yeah, roll me a diplomacy
Yes,
check. Let's see how loud. We'll use that as my roll for it.
Hark, neighbors.
Yeah.
I was like,
Thou shall not pass.
It's like Animal Crossing speak. Like,
Okay, what if I roll?
Diplomacy.
I think we're missing the most epic speech there has ever been.
You know,
you know what?
15.
It looks like he's
15?
got some heart into it.
17.
17. As you shout out, what do you say?
Weary travelers, I've been waiting for a week. It's good you're finally here.
As you hear the wind kind of picking up and whistling kind of heavily as the creature up above seems to be like shouting something quite loudly, but like you don't catch any of it. The dog kind of looks up like with pride and seems to kind of stand up a little bit taller as they say all this. And as you guys are kind of like struggling to hear this, you hear as someone behind you kind of climbs down the ladder as the ladder shakes as Chistiacus himself kind of pops up behind you and states out exactly what Patter the Second just said back to you guys, saying that's what he said.
Who?
As Kez
yes.
takes a second, having realized he was fully in that trance while Chistiacus was
Please
showing
just
up.
send an image of Chistiacus just so Hunter can view it.
Let me
Who the fuck are you?
mute myself.
Kez in a moment panics, thinking it's Zopip for a second and having a heart attack. He's like, wait a minute, no.
You do have to look way down to see me. I am a little guy. I have
Patter the Second.
6 legs, which is new because I used to have 4 when we first met. I've been blessed by a second or a third set of legs.
You've been promoted.
I've been promoted by my lord. I am a little brain with now 6 legs. And if a brain could ever look super enthusiastic and excited to just be alive, he does.
Are you an Electabauer?
I sure am.
Yep.
Well, there's no worries about me getting eaten, so.
Chistiacus.
Chastiacus.
Excuse me. I can never do it once after I take a hit. Alright, yes, Chistiacus, kind of tells you what Patter the Second just shouted out into the wind. You hear him say this as Patter the Second kind of waits, his dog kind of standing up proudly, like smiling, kind of looking at you a lot expectingly.
Ah, hail and well met. I've heard a lot about you, Kez.
There's a brain talking to me.
Yes, his name is just
Yes. My name is Chastiacus.
Isn't everything a brain talking to you?
As the little dog jumps in the air and drops down in front of you, lot with with Patter the Second on top of it, kind of coming up to the point where he is at your foot, like for height, I believe.
That is a great point, my friend. All communication is just one brain communicating with another brain.
I feel like there's a
Except undead, or ooze, or constructs. Something to think on.
Because I think you just kind of, it's one of those things where if you think about it too much, you'll drive yourself up a wall, so it's best to kind of just nod along with it.
Or plants. Yes.
As he
Thank you.
continues.
Head in my brain.
Just like
Brain in my head. Voice in my brain.
Oh my.
Chistiacus, you're going a bit down a rabbit hole.
Oh my god.
A brain within a brain.
Is this what they
brain.
call it's a logic loop or something?
Just start to.
My Lord Zebril is blessing me with more and more information. It's hurting my little noggin.
Oh, God.
Oh God. I just turned to Patter the Second, who has just said that he's been waiting for us. Just like, I'm sorry we were delayed. And I lost a finger and needed some time to get used to not having it. And then several other things happened right alongside it. And you look passingly familiar. I'm sorry, who are you?
It's just a
I'm
brain
Eider.
and legs.
My name is Patter the Second. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm the second of my line.
Oh, yes.
I
We
know
knew
your
of your father.
You do?
Brave Mouse, he. Yes, he assisted us after a battle
He did?
Specifically.
Give me a sense motive,
Yeah,
Dom.
Yeah, I was gonna say at that reaction I will roll, because feels like if he was Dom was thinking he was sent here by Patter the First, and now this seems weird. Oh, I actually rolled low. Let's see what
I'm gonna be honest
get
with you.
total
Patter
on
the
this.
Second is looking at you so confused.
I got a 10, so it's like
10?
an average.
I wonder if Patter the Second even knows what happened to his father.
I will say, Patter the First turning into a bison, he was freaking out before he ran off,
Oh, yeah.
and was not happy about it. You get the sense it might be a little bit of a touchy subject to mention that part, and might want to keep that part to yourself.
I don't know how much you were informed. I assume he sent you here, but he met with us briefly, healed me when I had gotten injured due to bad magical artifact a friend was holding. I kind of glanced at Eider. We did dealings with the goddess he worships, and I kind of like put a thumb on like the jar of dirt pendant to kind of like draw his eyes to it. He had to run off. He mentioned dealing with something involving his people or kin. I
My dad-
assume he.
So
Your
what you
dad-
said?
My dad doesn't heal. My dad was an assassin.
I
Might be a different
knew
pattern
it.
then.
Oh,
I-
our whole clan is called Patter. Well, you met Uncle.
Ah, yeah, the one who follows Blastaria.
Well, what's your father's name?
Pattern.
Well,
I just stare at him.
I mean, I assume like that other guy was called Patter. I mean, you're Patter the Second. I wonder if
Bargris
like
just elbows Kaznanok and goes, dude, they're all Patters, just...
So
How many T's does your patter have?
we are 5 different lines of Patters who all have different professions because we don't live super long, and we pass on that profession or similar profession to our next of kin.
So are you also
So
an
you
assassin?
are an assassin.
No,
Yeah.
I'm
Mm.
I am a treasure.
Ah. You've rebelled.
Well, no, I'm
with
still a rogue.
Moxie.
I just don't, assassinate.
Excellent. We have employment for you.
Oh?
I just like gesture to the giant tomb behind him.
Oh, well, yeah, that's what I've been waiting for. I'm gonna be honest, when I said I've been expecting you, I've been waiting for any group of adventurers to show up.
Fair enough. It has
So
been
you
posted for several
didn't.
months.
You didn't see a kobold or elvish-like lady here prior?
You gotta be more specific.
I don't remember Valthada's description off the top of my player head,
Griskin
but I'll describe them in character, because
I saw
Tom
2
would
people
know.
talking. One was named Lagrosa. They walked in.
Well, that's one of
Yes.
them.
Yeah. Oh, they've been here already. We need to be choppy. Be fast.
Yeah, I tried to go with them. They weren't like mean, but they did just kind of blow me off and walk away.
They want us dead, and we want them dead. So, you're with the better group.
Okay, cool.
Here, do you need help? What? I kind of look at the dog, and on your dog mount.
The dog is the
Dom's
size
like-
of your shoe, I will mention, Domnender.
Yeah, the smallest. I'm used to the like giant wolves of the frost
Yeah.
giant land.
Yeah, this is
the
not a
boars,
dog.
And I'm just
This is a rat.
this is a rat. This is a mouse folk riding a rat in the shape of a dog. This is
It's a
not
chihuahua.
how canines look.
It's the same size as a beagle, but yeah, in size and shape, yeah, it looks that small.
Is your mount able to survive what might be in that tomb? There is going to be traps and enemies.
Oh, yeah. Here, watch this. I pour a potion in my dog's mouth and he starts flying.
Little wings pop out, and he starts to kind of like just flap around you guys as if this is normal and like barks.
It's why I carry the potions.
Yeah, fair point.
Noted. Well, if you are able to help us in exploring the tomb and disarming traps, you are. I kind of look at Eider, who's the leader for this, as I say this. able to get a cut of what we might find, and I kind of see if that's what like Eider was thinking.
Just like flash like a quick thumbs up.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's what I
Pay
see.
for work or work for pay.
I can act as a scout.
Excellent. By all means, don't feel obliged to enter danger. I don't want to doubt your capabilities, but
Friend, I'm a treasure hunter. My whole life is danger.
I like this
I
guy.
won't insult you further. I apologize.
Well, let's see here.
Tom's just waiting.
All right.
Enemies are inside. They're making progress.
Yeah. So
Yes.
listen, I got a spell on my belt called Find Traps. It'll only last for like 4 minutes though.
Okay.
Oh, leave it to me.
I was
Oh.
say that might be better for like magical traps when we find like the room.
As Patter the second kind of starts leading you up these stairs with his mount, Chistiacus kind of sticking with you a lot as Bar just kind of steps back and climbs back up the ladder and just goes and finds himself a nice folding chair that he's put together with some leather straps and some wood and puts it out, starts sunning himself in the icy rain and the cold wind blowing down on him.
Just like, so you cool? I do have
No,
some.
oh, sorry.
Oh, you there?
Ah, what?
He's in deep thought.
There's like a-
I'm still considering what things don't have brains.
There's a list.
Plants.
just okay. So you cold? I can offer like some spare clothing if that would help.
Ooh, no, I am so comfortable right
What
now.
about a hat?
Another blessing from my lord.
I think he'd
A
look
hat?
pretty cool with a hat.
Do you have a hat that would fit me?
I have one that's pretty close.
Ooh.
Mini top hat.
Would I
Please.
look cute? Please.
You would look dapper and distinguished, I think. Perhaps even a
Do
gentleman.
you have a top hat for me?
You look into my bag of props for my disguise.
God damn it.
Please give him a pop top hat. Allow
Yeah.
him to enter Zephral's Distinguished Gentleman Club.
You do have a thing in there of a top hat, monocle, little fake mustache. Well,
I'll just like float over on the dog on Floof, and I'll just put the little top hat on.
as you pull out this top hat, I will say, is a disguise kit meant for a small? Well, you're small, correct? Or are you tiny?
I am small.
No, just
I'm-
Patter.
Oh, I'm tiny. This is a small top hat.
So
Oh my god, it looks so
this
adorable.
is a tiny. So Chestiacus, it is tiny and kind of as the tentacle on the top of your head, like would normally where it would stick out, kind of covers the hole so that when the tentacle goes out, it can move around with it.
Hell yeah. The little tentacle comes out and grabs it by the brim and like tips it down and then puts it back on the head.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my
Milady?
Yeah, suddenly you can sing like a Louisiana stage performer in the like 60s.
Incredible. Thank you so much. My lord will not forget this gift you have given me.
I'm just happy to help.
As Patter kind of the second leads you lot up to the entrance to these this opened up tomb, what looks to have once been two pillars for statues to have stand long crumbled and broken away. The gate that was held by these statues kind of looks to have been shoved off to the side of the platform onto the grassy hill and just kind of lays there as this long black iron gate. It looks to be about 50 feet in height and about 60 feet in width. As the concern of fitting in there suddenly kind of weathers away quite quickly with that realization, this place is massive in height. As Patter the second, you get up close on your mount, still floating in the air. Is there anything you'd like to do before you head in?
Is the gate locked? Is the gate locked, or do I just need a bigger person to open?
Oh no, the gate's gone. Like I said, it's off to the side. It looks like it fell off a while ago.
And I'm just looking for traps and stuff as I walk right in front of the party.
Okay.
I pull out the smallest set of like lock picks because I might need them.
Give me a search check, good sir.
Sherlock Holmes, but he's a mouse. I think there's a movie about that.
Yeah, called Sherlock
28.
Holmes.
8 and 9.
28. As you look at the front, it looks like what was once a massive spike trap set to basically open up as soon as someone opened the gate has long been disabled. The platform reinforced with stones that, as you kind of test and push down on it, doesn't seem to give way. The little crack that you can see in the floor, as you notice it, where the iron, or what you'd assume to be iron or silver spikes to normally be, look to have been torn out and taken away. You'd guess by scavengers looking for cheap metal.
I mean, that checks out.
As you head into that first room, as you look in a massive room with pillars all about it, off to the left, what looks to be a couple of yellow tents that have been set up. What looks to be a little bit of a fire pit dug up into the stone itself. The 4 pillars in the room look to have once had carvings of what would have probably depicted some great and magnificent scene, now too crumbled and broken to really get a quick read on. There's a few torches in the corners of the room that kind of give enough of a light to allow you to look about, but as Patter II notes, kind of pulling out his own little map of this dungeon that's matching the same one as your guys's, looks at it and notes that this is the only room that has a circle on it that says no traps, as you lot look about.
How convenient.
Makes sense. It's like the most well-traveled one because it's the one that everyone would get into. So they probably would have sprung it a long fucking time ago.
Yeah, you can clearly see in the far right corner, northern corner of the, far southern corner of the room, is what looks to be clearly a couple of areas where people just dug into it, putting fires over the years, and putting them out. It looks like this dungeon's been explored long before they announced it in King's End, under Ogg's rule, as this place has been definitely looted prior.
Gotcha. Yeah, from here I think our plan was to try and detect which way that the most recent passers had gone.
All right. For those doing the trap checks for either hallway, give me search checks. For those who are just checking for tracks or any signs of Valthana or Lagrosa, give me survival checks, please.
Survival check.
Survival time.
I have a +5.
What is with me rolling 4s today?
That's a
Like my-
12.
Damn.
I got
That's a
Kez
12.
getting really into character with that voice.
I'm gonna smell them from across the dungeon.
No.
That's what Zilpip was
Kez-
looking to
Kez.
get. 29 search, okay.
They won't be safe from me.
That's what. Because
I
it's being
think I-
possessed by the father. We
I
must stop
have-
this.
12 for the aid, okay.
So this is what it's like when I have a lot of coffee.
Oh no.
Yeah, I would like to aid Patter in searching because I
Oh,
trust
no
his
worries.
expertise a lot more than my own.
Patter is 29. Chistiakis, are you just kind of following and observing in the background? Just to clarify.
Yes, I am
Perfect.
watching their performance.
Okay. No worries.
Far too busy playing with his new top hat.
This is Eider and Chastiacus TV.
Yeah. All right, Patter, as you look about for traps down either hallway, it looks like both down the left and right hallways where clear signs of arrow traps were shown. It's not hard to find these stepping stones, as it looks like they've been pushed down multiple times and now they're no longer setting or resetting properly. As you kind of test and tap it with a stick, as you're way too short to even be hit by the arrows that would fly through, you see the things, kind of the little wall mounts open up, and then just puffs of wind shoot out as something normally would seemingly come out. It looks like the traps in these hallways have been both used up quite a good bit. As for the rest of you who are looking about the camp, as Keznok burps so loudly, kind of distracting Dom Nander's attention, as Dom finds a rock that says secret chest key with the exact plans on where to go, and just oh no, what? Oh, and drops it and goes, oh shit, looking back down, looking about, losing the rock, gone forever.
No, it's my bad, guy.
No!
Oh, I think those coffee beans are Whew. Really coming back to bite me.
As Kez kind of wipes his face a bit on the tent over in the corner, noticing the yellow tent is the same color as the one that the Pack of Smiles used to use. Noticing the large black painted smile on the side of it that was just slightly out of vision as he looks over at it. Either as you're kind of walking about the room, kind of catching a glance at that, as you're looking around the rest of the area, you can see a clear distinction of two heavy foot tracks. It looks like one looks to be a little bit more smaller and thinner. The other looks to be much wider and pronged into 3 points instead of just one. Both heading to the left of the entrance. You're not getting that rock patter, sorry. It's got a PM that said, hey, I want that rock.
I want that rock.
When it phased through the floor and it is gone.
It's gone. Like
It's in the back rooms.
You just pulled no clipped out of the map.
That as you look about, but that's what you roughly get between a lot of you.
Gotcha. I gesture towards the others and say, well, they went left near as I can tell. I'm not like a champion tracker by any means, so I admit to fallibility here, but saw 2 sets of, more recent footprints, one of them pronged, so likely kobold sort of digigrade talons, I imagine. The other one a little bit more fair-footed.
And which way did you see those tracks?
To the left.
The least ideal pathing. To the left now, y'all.
What harvest time?
I just kind of like solemnly nod and say, yep, hopefully they've walked into a few traps, but unlikely because we have no luck to speak of.
Alright, Pat the second, does the left path seem traversable to you?
Well, the only trap I see is empty, so for now.
Ideal. Good fortune.
As you kind of see as Patter points to the very clear rocks that are slightly shoved to the side, and you can see the mechanisms underneath where it looked like a pressure plate is designed into them. The little wall mounts half crooked open.
Would they have left fake footprints to trick us to go left when we should go right? No.
Dom, you're very rapidly descending into the what is true dimension.
That was it. That was just a joke. Dom is
No, this is a good thought path to follow.
Nope, nope. Go to left.
You just help a friend spiraling, and you're like, no, I think you should spiral.
And then reverse. Practically.
The path to madness is a fun one.
Be bamboozled.
What is the left, if not the right, but opposite?
Oh.
Excellent thought, Pat. Excellent, little thought experiment. We're going.
Okay, that was just stupid.
As you head to the left, kind of going down the narrow hallway.
I am offended.
Kind of walking through, following the tracks that Eider kind of point out. Clear signs of like wrappers from what looks to be like cloth wrappings from food. Something with melted like thick curdly cheese that's kind of already has a bit of a scent on it. It seems to be laid off to the side of the corridor. As you continue to walk through, the footprints clearly shown in the bits of mud and gunk that's kind of littered the floor from many travelers that have come through here. Some bits of blood that looks to be clear from the dried bits and brown stickiness along some of the sides of the stones in the corridors. But as you continue walking through to the main entrance, hitting that first room on the left, as it opens up, seeing the long corridor, there's a few signs of what look to be the tiles themselves having bits of splattered blood on them that kind of are scattered about in a bit of a pattern, almost in a checkerboard-like design. As you look for about 15 or so feet in front of you until it seems to then almost in a wall have a long strip of bloody splattering that seems to be somewhat fresh and somewhat old, and then seems to have a hallway off to the right, as well as a staircase a little further on to go up to the second floor, as it looks like there's nothing that continues on at this level on this side. as you guys kind of look about the room. Otherwise, there looks to be nothing else in here. Patter, though, give me a search check for traps and other things in the background. And for the rest of you, as you're looking about, you can either give a search if you're wanting to help out for the traps, or if you want to try anything else, I'm all ears.
Can I
You cannot sense mode of
do
the
a
dungeon.
listen check?
Sure.
No, listen check to see if I hear like distant voices, like
Yeah. Give me a
maybe
listen
gauge
check,
if
see if
the
you hear
enemies
anything.
are close.
Mm-hmm.
Sense mode of the dungeon is a funny thing, though. I almost wish I had.
Wish I thought of that.
To,
Fuck, that's
wish I
genius.
thought that. I thought that was too crazy.
Okay.
14.
14. It is surprisingly silent, and shockingly, in a underground dungeon, you don't hear any birds.
I would be
Everyone
more
knows
concerned
when
if
the
I
birds
could.
I
disappear.
know,
It's
right?
bad.
You should be a little bit more worried if underground you hear birds. Usually that means that there might be something explosive, or poisonous. But
Just
no,
so you know,
Honking of geese.
birds don't exist on the island that I come from.
it's just his points this out in the background as a fun fact.
What does live on the island in which you come
Shut
from?
up.
Oh.
No.
Red-eyed geese,
I'm sorry,
perhaps?
Wolf. I wanted to give you more spotlight.
Chastiacus starts listing every living creature in alphabetical order.
I was gonna
lives on
say,
the island.
there's nearly 400 for flora and fauna. If you really want to get into specific, and we're not spending the next 4 hours sitting here listing off that list.
No, he's just gonna list it.
Okay. As he starts going into it, please do also further at Dominander, as you kind of listen in. The chatter from Chastiacus is kind of explaining this, kind of catching your ears a bit, but you don't hear anything really. It's almost eerily quiet, other than you lot walking around.
We might be being quite obvious in our approach. As I just listened to Chastiacus' voice and Kez's voice echoing faintly off the walls around us.
Mm-hmm.
I
Like,
am
oh, they're probably gonna know we're coming.
in your head.
What? Sorry, I couldn't hear you over the sound of my giant adamantian plate. What was that
Again,
about being
still-
obvious?
Still speaking in your head.
I
Not
mean,
talking out loud.
Yeah, to be fair, Dom, I'm almost certain they know we're coming.
As you say this out loud.
Also, what
I
am
mean,
being...
of course I'm not shouting. I am talking normally,
yeah, no,
but yeah,
okay.
it's...
What was that, Powder, as well? Sorry.
What am I being aided? And I stepped away for a minute.
Oh, just a search check for more traps as they so the group makes it to the second area.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Alright. As you kind of take a moment and kind of mention this, talking amongst yourselves about the fact of being already known in the area, being heard, looking about Chastiacus, god damn it, Patter, my bad. Patter the second, as you look, it's clear that the flooring is set up in almost a pressure plate-like system. As you look up at the roof, seeing the clear signs of what looks to be pillars that come down and smash those that step on the wrong, basically checkered blocks. However, unfortunate, as many people have tried to come through here, it's almost too easy, as even your party, looking back at them, can clearly see the signs of where the squares that are completely blasted with blood and the ones that aren't are shown as you kind of look around the room.
We'll make sure they know the path, but I'm just flying over it. So, like...
Yeah, as you fly over, pointing it out, and then as you look at the long strip, the one just pointing to them that they have to make a jump over it, and then it's all clear from there in this room. And I'm pointing this out as you come to the other side. Coming to a landing, you do notice on the other side, next to the staircase, a small, what looks to be carving of a door seems to be designed. Catching your attention, you recognize this as what you're looking for.
I'm gonna look back to the others. Are you all comfortable making the jump, or do you want me to try to turn off the trap?
Try and turn off the trap, please.
Kesnok just turns and starts walking over to find a quiet corner in the distance.
All right, I'll pull out my tiny tools and start to get to work. It is my job.
Yeah.
I would
As-
not trust me to make a jump check.
Let's see. That is a. Let me double check for it. 'cause I
Disable
can-
device, I hope.
Yeah, no, it is. I've just got to check my DC. That's what I'm looking for. I know it's. No, it's gonna be. Let's you knowledge arcana. Let's make this interesting. We're gonna make it a Vorpal line. DC 83, because yeah, exactly. No, yeah. Disable device, please. And what'd you get?
Well, I got a 31. So
Damn. All right.
I built for like 3 things that I'm critically good at.
As you walk over to the sidewall, seeing a couple of the stones that are clearly look like they've been moved and manipulated a few times by other rogues who come through here, you kind of walk over and kind of pop them off after a little bit of jiggling with them, and then as they pop off, you find the mechanism to very easily lock the gears, as the very primitive design is almost kind of depressing at how simple it is and how sad how many people have died to it. As you take one of the rocks from the ground and kind of just shove it into the gears, completely effectively disabling the entirety of the room.
I just like rise back up and give them like the tiniest thumbs up.
I retard the gesture and walk carefully forward.
As you walk past, nothing seems to happen. As you walk, kind of avoiding these squares that are a little more bloody than you'd care to step into, you get past quite easily, and as there's your party kind of follows shortly after. Doesn't seem like there's any effect. The traps don't seem to go off. As you watch, I imagine, Pat, are you going to be leaving the rock in there, or are you going to re-enable the trap afterwards?
I'll leave it.
Okay. But as you look off to the to your right, as you kind of stand staring up at the staircase, you see a what looks to be a room that kind of goes off, or a hallway that goes off into the darkness. As there's no seemingly torchlight down there, though everywhere else so far has had torches, kind of either on the walls or somewhere in the ceilings. As you look about, even in this room, still being able to be very well lit. As you look about, looking upstairs, you can still clearly see the balcony. The designs on the balcony carvings look to be of a person, or almost a humanoid like figure, drawing on paper or papyrus or something of the sort, designing something, though the design looks to have been well worn out. As you kind of take a look at it, what would any of you like to do, if anything?
I think we should
Definitely.
explore the side room for treasure.
I mean, not only that, I do want to inspect the figure, because that sounds like that could be something of interest and may or may not give us some insight to the rest of the
I
space.
mean, yes, that too.
Okay.
I mean, I saw my objective. I'm looking at that.
As Patter goes over and pushes on the stony little pattern of a door in the at the bottom, or in the corner of the staircase, where what looks to have once been probably a prominent statue really stood proudly, now just a cracked mess. As you kind of push on it, Patter, you feel the door open and you see the little plane that opens up, and you see the paintings you're looking for. Many of them still beautifully on display. Some of the statues that have been designed, some of the gorgeous paintings of what looks to be the geography of the world, designed masterfully as they were painted, kind of just framed in pure gold, and some cases, as you look at, mithril frames.
I mean, after making sure there's no traps,
Give me a
I'll
search
collect
check.
those.
Yeah.
I'm not walking in there and having like crushing ceiling or something.
Yeah,
What do you mean? Yes.
Can I assist Patter the second? Because that would also be heading.
I
in that
will say this
direction,
door is literally only less than a foot tall.
So.
It seems to have
Damn.
been designed into the carving. However, so you can lean down and try and look in, but you won't be able to get in yourself.
If I just see signs of Patter the second distress, I'll like reach in and pull him out. But I'm
Oh.
just there to kind of stand guard.
Oh, don't you worry. 37.
You mean lay
Oh,
down
damn.
in guard, because you kind of you gotta get down to the ground to really look in at that level.
I mean, you can pet the dog. He's not walking in with me.
Oh, make you feel better as the dog kind of cuddles up next to you. Like, and laying up against your
creature
face
somehow-
and just licking your face over and over
A
again, like a
wolf,
salt
but
lick.
isn't.
As little
Just
Patter.
like this.
Go ahead. You go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, He goes over to the dog and starts speaking in its head, asking what its combat specialty is.
The dog. Go ahead and give me a diplomacy check.
Sure.
See how much this dog understands.
Yeah. Chasticus fully doesn't understand that.
Mm-hmm. No, you're good.
Bad. 13.
13. As you speak in this creature's head, you hear back, "The master understands this world only and can only speak for me. You are not the master. You cannot speak for me."
You serve the master too?
The creature just looks over at you, seems to wag its tail, and walks over and then runs over to you and starts licking you like a salt lick.
Oh my god. Yeah, Chasticus found a new best friend.
Fully due to a misunderstanding, but Chasticus now is playing. Imagine playing with a dog.
Oh, 100%.
As Patton the Second goes further in, on several watching and this and laughing at the misunderstanding,
about it.
right? Yeah.
Chasticus is like another kind of dog. It's only
Exactly.
natural they'd get along.
Patter, with your search from was that? Oh no, that was the 26 was from the traps in the room earlier. What's your search check for the room for traps?
It was a 37 after all modifiers.
37. Okay. As you look about, you do catch there are multitudes of traps. They all seem to be linked back to a single almost magical point. As you kind of follow the runes and a lot of the mechanical pieces that seem to link up to each other throughout the wall as you kind of pop off a few of the bricks in the wall. Looking inside, it looks as if each painting is rigged to cause a fireball to go off immediately upon being pulled off. The room is designed to also fall immediately almost 100 feet down below. To your understanding, would be deep in the Underdark, in a place you don't want to be. And the chests that seem to kind of lie about with what looks to be wrapped up pieces of paper and papyrus, kind of almost in scroll-like forms. Seem to be designed to basically cause a water sphere to go off in the room and almost ruin all the paintings and such with the spell itself. As you kind of look about the spell as well as the mechanical or mechanisms that go off to cast this all seem to link back further into the dungeon. You're unsure from this point if you can get it.
So I'm gonna have to go deeper to disarm and then come back.
Yep.
All right. I'll go back out, reseal the door.
Yeah, close it shut as Dominator just kind of sees you walk in. All the glowing, beautiful art paintings that are slightly in the bits of mithril and gold of framing that you could see. And then you kind of turn around, walk back out, and close the door. All right.
No luck.
Oh, sorry, Dom. I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, he just looked at Patter the Second and said, "No luck."
The trap mechanisms are deeper in. I'll have to come back.
Noted. Is there any luck with you? And cut over to what the others are doing.
Ida is looking down the hallway as you kind of start heading down there. Ida, give me a search check to make sure there are no traps down that hallway that catch your attention.
All right, I'm prepared to roll a 1 and get my ass clapped.
It's okay. You're in good enough armor that if you get smacked around, you should be fine, right?
Can't wait for Ed. There's no traps, and I walk over and there's 5 traps.
I walked right by
Suddenly
them.
gets banished and vanishes to another plane. Like what?
I'll have you know, my spellfire level.
I know, right? That's the only thing going for you. If it's a physical trap, it can't hurt that bad.
Yeah, it's like I'm walking off eventually.
Mm-hmm. What have we got?
It was 23.
23. As you look about the hallway, it seems to almost eerily be lacking in traps. As you kind of push against the walls, tapping them, expecting something to pop out. It's kind of strange as you kind of turn around the corner. Looking down the hallway, you see what looks to be clearly two skeletons of what looked to be once giant-like creatures wearing, what was probably at one point some sort of armor, now as you notice is just nothing but their commoner's clothing with the imprint of very clearly heavy armor that was on them. Their weapons been completely gone, these skeletons looking as if they are bleached in bones, or bleached in coloration, with bits of cobweb kind of in between them. Around them looks to be a couple of chests that look to be popped open as you kind of look inside, completely empty. The barrels in the corner seem to also similarly be empty and cleared out, as you can see, as if someone like ran in, grabbed everything, knocked a couple of them over, and left. You do find at the end of it, as you look about, a single gold coin at the in one of the corners laying there that seems to have a strange marking on the back of it of a map with a star on it. The map doesn't seem to have any actual depiction of a geographical location. It just looks to be shaped like a map, and with like a trail leading to a star. The other side of it looks to have the words, or the letters, letter G. So I'm reading my long notes here. Don't mind me. Sorry.
Gotcha. Huh?
Is this a coin from Greg's Lands?
No, this is not. That would be a gemstone. This is an actual gold coin.
Gotcha.
Because normal currency, while I call it gold pieces, it's technically our gemstone pieces. So similar to like Link in that idea.
Gotcha. Because I remember, because what, didn't, no, it's only Zarius's, the golden hearts that are starting to use gold as currency.
Yep, correct. Most of the world still uses gemstones as them because they're more common.
Very suspicious because this is the only thing of value left in this fucking thing. I'll pull out my little, thing, and, prepare to use detect magic on it to try and decipher what ill effects might be on this.
As you stare down at it, you are shocked. There's no magic. And I knew that. I was going to say that put you on.
It is just a coin.
There's almost a sense of you wishing that there's magic coming on it to make this easier to take.
There's lean over to one of the corpses and
could be a trap.
Push the coin with one of their femurs.
As you take one of the bones and kind of kick it, the coin moves. It kind of jingles a little bit off to the side. Packs into the side of the wall and kind of drums for a second and then settles down.
Just kind of very warily, but just kind of lean down and gingerly pick it up, bracing myself internally for god awful whatever.
As you kind of pick it up, close your eyes, and look away from it, holding it out for a second, waiting, counting in your head. A few seconds go by, you hear Kez and Dom kind of shouting for you down the hallway as you open your one eye and look around. Nothing's happened. The coin's just sitting kind of held in your hand as you pinch it between two fingers. Nothing seemed to have happened.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll give it a quick once over. If nothing immediate stands out to me, then I'll start moseying on over.
The only thing I will say immediate upon notice is it looks like it's similar to the carvings of in the staircase railing, as described earlier. Almost as you kind of realize the square in the individual's hand looks to have been, as you kind of think for a second, could have been a map that it was designing, and that may have been worn out because it was too it wasn't deep enough into the design to last this much time.
Gotcha. And then I had wanted to investigate the statue that had been in the room as well to see if I could glean any kind of information.
Yeah, give me a knowledge, history, religion, or arcana, as any of the three would work in this situation. They will give you slightly different answers, but yeah.
I have all three. I could roll all three if you want it.
I take one or the other. That keeps players choosing. Makes it more interesting.
Yeah, I'll roll my biggest 26 arcana.
Arcana. You recognize this figure as surprisingly a famous figure in magical history, the one who is called the Star Rider. Supposedly the creator of the astronomy and astrology magics that have been designed, both the study of stars as well as the usage of them in magic, casting, and creating of spell circles. Most famously was noted as the map maker, however the term is debated on what it means. Not many know what the nickname implies. Some believe it means to have been one who just drew maps, meaning they were one who made a lot of designs for maps, knowing where things were, constantly keeping information. Some people believe that this was a term for one who wrote their own destiny.
Interesting. Yeah, I kind of like put two and two together with the coin now, I think. Likely something probably belonging to like a collector, or maybe like one of their maps. I don't know.
As you look up at the statue, yeah, it's there. You don't kind of thinking if there might be a slot or something like that with the coin as well. Looking about, there's no carvings, no markings or anything in it. It looks to be too crumbled and destroyed. The hand of the carving where the map normally would have been, or whatever depiction of the creature was holding, looks to have long worn away. You're pretty sure if there was something for this as an insert as well, looking at this, it'd be long gone. Someone may have asked that in the background. Don't worry.
Oh God.
I may be reading out a quiet roll here.
No. Now we'll never get to know.
Right. But as the lot of you kind of come back, or as you watch as Eider kind of comes back out and looks over the statue, Patter having closed the thing, kind of waiting on you lot, still remounted up with the dog, kind of hanging around Chistiacus as it kind of seems to fly around him mostly. What would you like to do?
Sally forth.
Sally forth?
Yeah.
Hello!
All right.
Forward
I'm
march!
mistaken. There's only one way forward, really, that we haven't explored. It's
Up
like
the staircase. Yep.
Yeah, up the stairs.
All right, Patter, as you take lead, heading up the staircase and heading towards that stairway. Give me another search. Let's see what you got.
Oh, that's not great. I rolled a 6 for a 24.
I would like to aid another.
Yeah, I would recommend it in this one.
I didn't aid another. Only got 11.
Oh, the only thing you're sure of, Patter, is that whatever, as you look down the hallway, a kind of almost a strange scent in the air that's very citrusy kind of on in the air catches your attention. There's also a strange scent that you can't quite place your thought to as you catch it as a whiff. It's not dissimilar to burning flesh, but it seems to almost have a strange undertone to it that kind of catches your attention. As you look about, you're unsure where the traps are, but you can see that this hallway has definitely still got an active trap. As you notice a few body parts down at the bottom of the staircase.
There's a trap here. I don't know what. I also smell citrus. That something like burning flesh.
Ned, close your nose.
Can
Ned kind of immediately plugs his nose with like cloth and starts shoving the soak in.
Can Dom try to do some kind of like nature or poison crafting roll to know if he knows of like any acids or poisons or like corrosive materials that like smell like citrus and would like burn flesh?
Do you have profession poison maker?
Yeah, I do.
Then yeah, go ahead with that.
Because I'm imagining this is like some stuff that's like shooting out and or like fills the room and. Oh my gosh, my rolls, guys! It's so bad. I know I joked about it, but I don't think I've rolled above a 10 like maybe 2 times. 6 with my bonus.
You're unsure what this is, but the only thing that you're pretty sure of is that it's not a poison effect, whatever it is, as you don't recognize this poison.
Doesn't seem to be a poison. Any thoughts on what might produce a citrus smell and burn things?
Well, Unless the citrus was just someone who passed by. No.
How far is the hallway? Or, like lengthwise?
It's about, so it is a 60-foot down staircase. It drops about 40 feet below where you're currently standing, seemingly almost re-leveling you out with the before you climbed up the previous staircase.
Gotcha. And like you can't see anything like that is like specifically, or how far is the? Because I remember you said there was burning corpses, or there.
No, there are pieces of the bodies, body fragments at the bottom of the staircase that you can clearly see. What looks to be a brown, sticky mess kind of at the bottom, as well as what looks to be bits of blackened kind of chunks, kind of seemingly sifted about.
Should I do dungeoneering to know if this is like potentially a fucking ooze?
Go ahead and give me a dungeoneer roll. That's fine. As you look up, yeah.
Not another one.
I was saying the bone ooze only coming to mind. Kesnanok not remembering any of that and the fear that came through the party at that time. 14. As you look up, there doesn't seem to be any signs of anything dripping down. And at this point, you're pretty sure, given that Dom said that it was quiet earlier, and your adamantine armor, you're though you've been loud, you're pretty sure you would have heard something as well. It's too quiet otherwise amongst the dungeon.
Gotcha. Well, we don't see anything going wrong. I can go first. I could probably survive whatever issue is there if there is an issue. And I'd like turn and like blow fire down the passageway to see if like anything catches a flame.
As you immediately blow fire down the thing, just out of nowhere, igniting the air. As you do, nothing seems to happen. The fire kind of burns out and dissipates.
Should you not use your staff to try to trigger it?
You make a good point. Come along, Sparky. And I like tap the staff to bring out the monster.
God damn it, I don't want to do this to poor Sparky. This got hurt. Alright, give me a minute. Let's see. I need a fortitude save from
Can't believe you were about to subject yourself to this.
If you wouldn't mind. As immediately a blackened mist kind of blows out of the sides of the walls as the creature summons and takes a step forward, immediately triggering one of the brick staircases. What's the fortitude?
Oh, I need one?
Yes, for your unless you're just gonna auto fail, or you're cool with the creature auto failing.
I mean, I don't, it's like, the fuck is the fortitude? It's probably like a +3.
I say it's whatever creature you summon. It's fortitude bonus, I believe.
It's a 5 plus whatever, so that probably fails.
Okay. So let me roll.
I can look up the
kill
modifier,
this
but I'm pretty
thing.
sure.
So that's 34 points of damage as the creature immediately is subjected to this blackened fog that kind of envelops around it, seemingly spewing out from the sides of the wall as the creature steps down on one of the first stair, immediately tumbling forward as it does. The creature is consumed by this blackened mist and vanishes, almost leaving nothing but its its paws as they seem to kind of patter to the bottom before vanishing into dust from the spell effect ending. If anybody wants to give me a spellcraft to recognize what spell that was, you can.
I would love to.
Oh, it's a spell.
It was a spell.
Uh-oh. My mask probably won't work on that. I was just thinking, my mask.
No, it was not. I did tell you it was a poison spell. Yes.
Just for his own knowledge.
What was that?
Hang
Just
on, let me
assist?
see what.
You can assist if you'd like. 26. Go ahead. Yeah.
Just for his own knowledge, can Zebral roll?
Yes, that's fine. And yeah, for the rest of you who are rolling, let me know.
Was this? You said spellcrafting or Arcana? Which was
Spellcraft.
this? I got a 2 total.
2, nice. Okay, so you have no idea what this is. You just know it's magical.
This is fucking crazy, guys.
You've never seen a spell like this before, and it's caught your attention.
I've never seen anything like this.
Eider, as you kind of take a second, um, I'll let Zebra roll in the background. I'll get pinged out here in a minute. You recognize this Eider as the spell Destruction, a well-known cleric spell of necromancy of very high power that seems to be designed to cast off upon immediate stepping on the stairs, if not disabled. A blackened mist seems to kind of spew out, and anything that goes into it, as if almost tumbling into it, is immediately eviscerated. Leaving nothing behind. And I do mean literally nothing. For those who don't know what that means, I mean that equipment and possessions.
Yeah. I reach out my hand. Yeah, I don't have anything right this second. I reach out my hand. Does it immediately reactivate?
It does not without you stepping on the stair.
I'll put my foot down.
As you put your foot down, immediately you go ahead. I don't think there's a save, correct? Right? It's just you suck in the spell.
Yep.
As you watch as the blackened mist kind of spews out, expecting a creature to have fallen in, I do need a reflex save because this technically the other part of the trap is a slickness to cause you to immediately trip. So you will absorb it, but we're gonna see how cool you look doing this.
Fall down the stairs, Family Guy style.
You're either about to slide down, surprise. Go ahead.
Well, I did just about as good as I possibly could. 24.
Hey, congrats, you did succeed. Managing to stomp your foot down hard enough after seeing the creature go tumbling down, you manage to kind of hold your ground as you absorb in the blackened mist sucking into your hand. As your body begins to glow lightly, you all watch as a golden glow kind of envelops Eider for a moment and then dissipates back to just his eyes.
Alright, so it's a magical trap.
I got that much. Yes. It's definitely magic.
Do not walk into it. It will destroy you utterly if you fail to stave off its effects.
As you say
Is
this,
there a way?
Eider, you watch as Patter the second kind of flies by you and pops off one of the bricks really quickly, kind of shoving his tools into a couple mechanisms, and as they crack and crinkle, you hear as the things start to grind away and the thing breaks.
Oh, nice.
Done.
Cool.
Oh, perfect.
Offer Patter a very polite low five.
Look, fly up to him and high five him.
Keznanok, give me a wisdom check.
I sure can do that.
Pause your Roblox for a second.
Yep.
Pause the online game.
That is a 10.
You feel something strange come over you. It's almost as if there's something watching you for a moment, and as you begin to breathe out, you feel a coldness in the air. As you begin to see a moment of a vision of your party enveloping around this pool of water, and as you kind of look down, seeing your reflection for a moment, you see it's not water, but a liquid-like blue lyrium. As Eider, you look over, suddenly is panicking and pulling away roughly his hand as he seems to start to glow uncontrollably. You look up towards where you see, towards the far end of the room, the northernmost end of the room, where a large blue rock seems to be carved with something that, as you see it, these strange scorpion-like creatures begin to climb out of it before you can get a good look of what the carvings are and begin to charge at you and your friends. You count 3 of the creatures kind of jumping off and coming at you as the water, or rather liquid lyrium, begins to almost float in the air and spin about around these creatures as they seem to start swinging and attacking you lot, overwhelming you quite quickly. And almost as soon as this vision comes to you, it vanishes like a That's So Raven episode, for those who remember that. You suddenly come back feeling your mind kind of
That's
clear
so
once more.
Kesdenok.
Exactly. As you kind of feel your mind clear back up and this vision fade away.
And I don't see the crystal right now, or is it right there?
No, that seems to the depiction looked to be all the way over in the room with the large water pool.
Gotcha. And we're
Currently on
guys.
the left bottom room. Going up to the next center left room.
Gotcha. You're in the bottom left room, going to the center left.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey guys. I don't know if I'm just going crazy. I'm pretty sure I am, but I just had a vision of a lot of bad things happening in that room with the pool.
This kid points to the map once more.
Yeah.
it isn't.
Scorpions. 8 are drowning because he's short. I'm just
I look at Eider's height and I look at myself.
I want to know.
not.
Editor's note here.
I'm
I
Patter.
love
I'm
that.
almost certain you'd float. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't break the water tension.
Are you calling him short and fat? You're fucking horrible.
You know what? Fuck you and your church.
You said scorpions, as in regular scorpions, or as in like monstrous ice scorpions?
Right?
As I described them, they were blue in color, and yeah, they were monstrous looking.
All right, cool. Yeah, they're monsters looking in blue.
Ring any bells?
Give me, actually, in fact, funny enough, you don't have to roll for this. You've seen these creatures. And you're not gonna like where you've seen these creatures.
In Abaddon.
As you take a moment to think, you recall seeing these creatures as, some of the really minor ranked. This sounds a lot like what is described as an ice demon.
Oh lord.
Oh.
There's just the sudden realization as Padman looks up at you.
Listen, there's a lot of reactions that I'm perfectly okay with. When Chasten gives me, I am not happy.
Hunter,
Not okay.
one ice devil could kill all of you.
Demon?
That's an ice demon, not an ice devil.
Even ice demons. That's if there's a group of them.
Now
Let's
there's
hope
3 of them.
Valthana and Lagrossa fight them and kill them, and then they're weakened, and we just swoop in.
Yeah.
Now, do you say that in character?
Describing.
I don't think Dom.
No, Dom.
I don't think Dom says it in character, but I think he thinks it. I mean, he might suggest. I think Dom might. Well, we can't exactly not retrieve the item. I think the best thing we could do, if not a plan, is to see if maybe Valthana and Lagrossa encounter them and they fight, and then whoever's weakened we could maybe deal with.
So what exactly did you see as far as me drowning?
It's kind of hard to describe. And then I described it exactly how I saw it. But
As,
my words,
as you now
it's like-
realize that he was just insulting you and giving you shit as he just did, as you only were panicking and being attacked, and the water was floating around and going and being swirled by the creatures as if they were controlling it. No, at no point were you described as being drowned.
Gotcha.
But I do appreciate the ad-libbing. That was kind of quite funny. You actually made me spit out my drink, so... That and
I
the
will
short,
say,
fat joke. Good.
When Eider speaks, Patter looks like he's gonna say something and stops.
Yeah, I will give you the full description of what I saw and be like, sorry, Andrew, you didn't actually drown. I just, I'm sorry.
It was just like, I turned to Patter and say, "Sorry, you were going to say something?"
Oh, yeah. Why would those two run into it? They're not here.
But
Did they
what do
already
you mean
leave?
they're not here?
Didn't you say that you saw them come by you?
Yeah. Twice.
Twice?
Yeah.
Did they leave twice?
Yeah, they came in, left a few days later, grumbling about not finding what they were looking for.
Ah, didn't find it. Which means...
But they came back again.
About someone called Morin? I don't know.
Oh.
Oh, Kix?
I just heard Morin.
Well, they sent that
that
bastard
he had
Abaddon.
it? Or that they were meeting up with him?
Grumbling something about... I don't think they like him. Something about got here first.
Interesting.
If you guys are here for... I don't know if it's still here.
Well, we can't risk leaving it for someone else.
Yeah, perhaps they just
But
didn't look in the right spot.
If they... The chances either they didn't find it, or that Jakix did take it. But either way, if they've left and aren't waiting outside to ambush us, this does give us time to prepare if we are worried about these scorpion creatures.
If I sat out there for 2 days and they were waiting to ambush you and I didn't see them, I'm scared.
I agree, you seem very vigilant, Patrick II.
Oh, I mean, if I wasn't, I'd probably be dead by a trap by now.
He looks back at the destruction spell that just went off a second ago.
We could explore the rooms, but the one with the pool, see if we find anything, and then if we need to double back to prepare something that could fight creatures like this. I do worry, however, since we have left the town, if we go back, Lithotara's followers probably will be able to simply overwhelm us and murder us in the town square or wherever else they'll get us. I do believe our protection only extended until we left, which we have.
There's no possible way that they could mob us in the fucking city with Og Brightwing, like, in the town.
All
That
Right Wing would retaliate, but they have... the numbers they had in that camp?
Question:
Enough could get
the
through
wording
the
was the protection only while we are in the city, so like it won't go away unless we are in the city, or is it until we left the city?
That's for
Until
your
we left.
That's for your party
Okay.
to tell you. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't answer that question
From
myself.
what I recalled from what I saw in my notes, glancing, she had said like she would give us protection while within the city until we like left, essentially until we left to do whatever. I think like pursue her quest or something. But I remember she explicitly stated she wouldn't be taking our souls, but that her protection was limited, unlike Zarius's deal where he would take our soul, but his protection was basically to anything that wasn't stronger than him.
Gotcha.
Which, no clue if the cataclysm
Which
and all that
means-
was be stronger than
As
him,
Dom
so
explains
there's a
this
gamble.
without any, not really like weighing, like not knowing where Kesna or where Zarya stands on the god scale, not having ever heard his
Oh,
name
yeah.
before.
I did a roll, and I think Dom got really bad in his religion roll, so like no clue where his power is. He did seem to offer a better deal, but either way, Blastara's extension, even if it did apply to us entering the city again, if we're on the outskirts of the city where that camp is, it is still free reign. And
I'm
they
just
know
worried about
we are
my
missing.
members of the church.
I
I hope
think
they're all right.
should hope that your goddess and Og protect them. Otherwise, they're likely at risk. But
Life is risk.
so, speaking of risk, are we pressing on?
We're on the one road, it may be the wrong road. We're on the road to God knows where. And
I think he might have eaten the bad bean either. I don't know.
I hope he's gonna die.
It's breaking out into song. This is not normal.
ladies and gentlemen, Ugbo number 5.
God damn it, Kesnanok, as he starts dancing his way down the staircase. ahead of the party, not ignoring any chance of another trap being in the staircase, just goes at it.
Look, we're getting a new party
Oh,
member.
he's not a bard. He won't survive this.
Part of Dom and Eider look on both in concern and laughter. Oh man! As you head further down into the room, you come into the next room with the 3 pillars. The 4th completely crumbled and fallen down. Most of them, the other 3 almost following suit. What looks to be a closed-off room from the quick smell of the air is pretty clear what it's probably used for, and it isn't pleasant. The room kind of going still further in and ahead, or straight ahead rather, looks to be kind of closed off. Not really with any indication of what it is as you look at the map, though. It looks to be some sort of prison cell or burial area from what you guesstimate. To your right, there's also another corridor that looks to have an open doorway that you can see down, like heads down and towards a big, quite open room, from what you can tell, with a large statue. From at this angle, it's kind of hard to tell what it is of. It looks to be some sort of giant-like creature, but I mean, could be a number of things. All right. Give me your search checks. Let's go for the trap checks.
Hell yeah. But it's like we can't really explore any room before we do the fucking.
No, I know. I'm waiting for Patter to send me like, here's my search check.
Can Dom do like another search check for something separate, but not for
Sure.
traps, but for like hidden rooms that like might not show up on the map or like might not have been accessed? Because if Valthon and Lagrosa didn't find the item, then it must be like hidden.
Yeah, give me a search check. Patter.
I don't think I'll get it, but damn.
What'd you get?
I got a 12.
It's hard to be a rogue when you're not a rogue.
It's hard to be good when you roll bad.
You do meet it, Patter, as you find another trap. It looks to have along the sides of the walls and on the kind of each corner of each of the pillars seems to be pressure plates designed to allow swords to strike out from the walls with the flame strike spell kind of enchanted into them, causing an immediate potential 20 to 30 damage on average for those out of game, for wondering. In game, you're familiar enough with this to be a trap that's capable of taking most knights' heads in a single strike.
I both want to disarm it and take the swords.
Same.
Yes. If they're flame,
I will
wait.
state, the swords themselves are not outright enchanted with it. It seems these spells are being cast on them as they're popping out. So kind of keep that in mind.
Damn.
Yeah. So by disabling the trap, you are disabling the flame strike. You can take the swords out, which
What
they
if
are all
we-
silver blades, which is notable.
Silver blades are silver
What
blades.
if-
Why?
So
Yeah.
that will be.
Is there-
Go ahead.
I was wondering if there was a way to temporarily jam it so we could leave the ice demons back here and re-enable it. But that might be too convoluted.
I can imagine the
They
roll
can
would
fucking
have to-
teleport.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
As Eider pulls out his little monster Nomicon he's
I
got
say
going
Dom
and
does not know that.
points to teleport as a concern and with a lot of red strikes around it. You notice as Eider kind of has flipped to the section of do not want to fight monsters in his book.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh yeah, just like pull out like adamantine tools, like and like help Patter like chip the fucking swords off the wall.
All right. Well, I need a disable device from Patter first to see if you can manage to disable this thing.
26. Doing my best.
Patter, as you kind of work away at it, kind of clicking as you find one of the gears that looks like it's casting the spell and kind of pull it out. Looking down, you throwing a rock towards the trap. You watch as the swords go right back out and cast once more. As it comes within about a few inches of the party as they kind of stand close by. Seems the blades are slightly moving as they get activated.
It's a tough trap.
Would you like to give me another chance at it? Unless one of the party members would like to assist. Yes, Domnander.
I was,
Don't have disable.
no, I'll
so
just put it in chat. You guys can continue.
Oh, okay. And I will say, I was gonna say, don't worry. Give me a search check in the chat if you won't mind, Domnander, for your looking around for the secret rooms. Oh no, you already gave me that number. That was the 12.
Dom, don't you know we're fucking adventurers? We're gonna go both ways.
I'm just saying, if
Kez
this
is
trap's too
famous
hard
for
to
it.
disable from this side,
Well, there's only one side for this. We're trying to disable it to take the loot. We're not really worried about like.
They want the swords. They want the
Well-
18 large silver swords. They are long swords for reference.
So much greed.
As Kez just watches, kind of stroking his chin as this goes on.
Maybe that's why he made it to Azarius.
Patter, go
Yeah,
ahead and give me
I was
another
gonna say.
disable device, please.
While they're doing that,
Yes.
can I throw out a detect chaos?
You can. That's quite smart of you. But I have unfortunate news, good sir. You
There's
are-
nothing.
You are suddenly paralyzed.
Ah! Fuck
As
you!
Kez looks about the room and kind of like whispers something. You see a little bit of a glow around him as the spell kind of goes off, and almost immediately is shocked, stunned, as there are seemingly 3 sources of chaotic alignment in this room, seemingly watching in each of the corners.
Huh,
There's
I wonder
four.
what they could be.
There's
Uh,
4.
Patter.
I don't think Cat Patter has a powerful aura though.
As
Yeah,
you
Excuse me.
wait, what was that, Patter? Sorry.
I'm also chaotic.
Oh yes, that's true. I forgot about that. He does see you, but he does not come off as overwhelming. I think you are faint, based on your current, because you're not a caster, right?
Well, I'm not, and I'm
Yeah,
at level
so
4.
you'd be faint.
You can still see it, so.
Yeah, he can still see it. So in fairness, yes. And as you kind of manage to smack again at the flame strike trap, you manage to catch the gears, kind of breaking the spell as the blades stick out, kind of getting stuck. You manage to make it so the blades are kind of jammed to where they can't retract now, making it so either and you can easily probably pull them out one at a time. It'll take a little jimmying, but you're pretty sure you can get them out now without concern of them stabbing you through.
Yeah.
As the two of you will go away at it. But give me another disabled device. Both of you, either use your craft blacksmithing for your bonus on this.
Deal.
25.
25.
I tried to do something
18.
smart, and I've been paralyzed for it.
It's not. It was smart. No, it's actually that's still useful information. The party's just too. They're too absorbed right now,
They're too
and
busy to
Domnander doesn't know
notice.
what this is.
No,
So
Dom would notice. I think Dom's.
no,
not
you because
doing
Kez
the
is
trap
wearing. Kez, you're wearing full armor, aren't you?
I'm wearing,
Oh.
yeah, I have
So
plate
his
on,
his
yeah.
face is covered. So the only thing you'd notice is if you were looking him in the eyes, you'd see the sudden like paralyzing fear in his eyes.
Covered. How did all the NPCs know he looked like a femboy? Unless his
Because he
visor
doesn't
was
wear his
I don't wear my
helmet in when he's in town.
Yeah, I
But he
don't
wear-
wears it when he's out here because he's the one who gets shot in the head.
Damn.
It's like Eider's wearing it
Hunter,
right now.
I was trying to find a loophole.
No, no.
You should have backed me.
Listen, I
will-
understand what must
you
be
know,
done.
You know what, Dom? Give me a sense motive. Let's see if you notice anything strange.
My
Just
senses,
notice
they're
like an
tingling.
absolute free, like no shifting, no like
Yeah,
It's
bother.
just a spidey sense. It's purely just
Nothing-
vibes. Dom's
Something's
like,
wrong. I can
something-
feel it.
Dom's like, something is wrong here.
Hey,
I
you
don't know what it is.
we could have really used old Patter Senior here of the other healing
Motherfucker!
clan.
My
Blame the
rolls,
bison.
My rolls, only an 11.
Captain Bison
I
is
am
cursed
eating all
you
my
tonight.
dice.
Giving you all the
all
cold
my
shoulder.
dice.
Yeah, no, Kez is just a cold individual. It looks like he's just focused on something as you kind of look back over to Eider and Patter really working away at the swords. Kind of curious what Eider's going to do with all that silver when he gets once he gets the chance.
What's
I
the
don't-
Internally
difference with all that
screaming.
junk?
Eider and Patter, what did you roll for your second disabled device roll?
It was 25.
25 for you, and Eider, what'd you get for your roll?
I got a 21.
21. Yeah, as the two of you manage to get the blades down, I assume you're going to split between the two of you for the amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
They watch me Mary Poppins these blades in like a me-sized bag.
Yes, you watch as Patter picks one up after kind of helping Eider get them all down onto the ground after kind of breaking them out of their holders. As some of them more easily done than others, some popping out smoothly, while others took Eider completely demolishing the thing because it was just easier. As you managed to get them all out and set onto the ground, picking them up, kind of split as you do, Eider, setting yours off to a set of the pile and then kind of splitting the rest off and handing them over to, or setting them next to Patter. You watch as Patter picks one up and it shrinks down to his size in his hand as he puts it into his bag and seems to minimize and vanish. He does this, he gets the rest of his cut, kind of putting each one into his inventory.
Yay. So it's 9 swords each.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Just double checking, I wasn't like misremembering somehow the number 18.
Nope, you are correct.
Good. Cast around, look at the rest of the party now that we're done. So, alright, everybody all good to go?
Yes, that was entertaining to watch, but there is more ahead to deal with.
You said it yourself, we got time. Gotta make up your mind. Are you impatient or what?
I am impatient in the way that I really want to see what's going on in this place, but I also don't want to rush into every room and die to trap. So whatever you determine that to be.
Kez, your paralyze ends.
Guys, you agree with me, right? You were just rearing to go.
Oh, fuck! Good God!
Is something wrong, Tall One?
Oh, somebody fucking paralyzed me!
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Well, yeah, of course it did.
What?
What? Every two of these lands belong to demon lords. What do you expect?
As you kind of look down, Kaz, Dom, and Eider, kind of thinking for a moment if Patter thinks there's something, like knows of something being in here, as you kind of look about, it's more, as you kind of realize with the traps and the spells around, it kind of more makes sense that you'd probably, anyone who is able to detect would notice these spells being so high ranking, that it would probably have a similar effect, and it not necessarily means the monsters, but also the monsters that would be drawn to magical artifacts down below, like with the roaring motorcycle of the distant lands.
I thought you guys already knew.
The Harley Davidson, the most fearsome of both.
I just didn't know that merely detecting something could paralyze you.
Oh,
Or do you want a lore dump on the tomb? Nobody asked. I didn't think you wanted to know. I thought you already knew, to be fair.
No!
Yeah, no, it was a tomb to the ice to a demon.
Yeah, demon that future. His name's Destiny's Lord. He wasn't super powerful comparatively. I mean, most demotes in this age are like, over double what a world leader could cast at. They're terrifying. But he was a lot weaker, but, his future sense was kind of terrifying in its own right. So.
Yeah, I
Did something get
bet. But yeah, I was able to sense that there was 3 other beings in this room, I think. Oh, well, along with you.
Yeah.
as Kez says that out loud, you hear suddenly drumming beginning to pick up as a beat begins to, almost like a tribunal kind of thump thing kind of begins.
Shark beat. Ooh, ha, ha.
Exactly. As it begins to get louder and louder. Go ahead.
I do believe, because you've said they're there, that they are now active.
Shit.
Can I get off a spell
What
real
do you
quick?
mean? There's nothing there. We don't know about anything in the room. It's just us and us alone. Can I
You
make a luck
hear
check?
these sounds. Go ahead, Kez. Yes.
Can I get off a spell before
Yeah.
the next thing happens?
Go ahead.
Protection from chaos.
Yeah, that's fine. You cast it kind of encircling around you as this blackened or like a globe kind of expands around you. It dissipates just as quickly, creating just more of a glimmer of a shield around you, allowing you to see around. But you feel the spell's power kind of enwrap you. You all hear the words in common, surprisingly, almost spoken perfectly, go, "The chosen has arrived. The challenge has been chosen. There will be no exiting until the challenge has been finished. The chosen must prove itself." and you begin to feel the entirety of the tomb begin to rumble, and Ned just looks at all of you and just sighs, and that's where we're ending tonight. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you on the next one.